Late Night Grin. Also, what does that name mean?
Fitting, really, that our intro feature a countdown. Granted, it does every single week and always has, but this week it's topical, right? It suits our subject matter. We're here to discuss some of the greatest matches of Christian Cage's incredible career. Celebrating an anniversary today because it's 15 years to the day of his Over the Limit classic with Randy Orton, which we've got a feeling is going to come up later, but we've got a lot to work our way through. A top 15 to be exact, an expert panel as always. Donnie, how are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to talk about one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. My 47th greatest wrestler of all time to be exact, Christian Cage. And I honestly, legit, in preparation for the show, I had forgotten how stacked and varied, how much varied, thank you. It's been a long day at work. How varied his catalog actually is and how long he's been this good. So I'm excited to get into it. I'm interested to see what places where.
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways, Christian is kind of the perfect wrestler for this show, this concept, because he's a legendary wrestler, but he doesn't necessarily have those like canonized like classics necessarily, which is interesting. Like we go through this list. These are not matches that are going to be shown in video packages over and over. Right or wrong, I think the latter. But he makes an interesting subject as a result of that. The Oracle of Wrestling is battling through some sickness to be here, but I know he loves himself from Christian Cage. How you feeling, brother?
I'm good. I'm on day 4 of a battle of some kind. Some illness. Unfortunately, I think it may be COVID. I know that was passed around at work, so that'd be at least my 3rd battle with it, and as many 6 years. But I'm okay. I'm actually feeling a good bit better today. I've got a runny nose, so I'll be muting myself when I'm not rambling on and taking forever to talk. But yeah, I'm very excited to be here. Christian Cage is one of my all-time favorites. May 22nd, 2011. So that would have been about, if I'm not mistaken, 5 days before I graduated high school. So
wow, there you go.
That was the last pay-per-view that happened before I graduated high school. So
all right, there you go. I love it. Bob, you gotta do me a favor, bro. When Oracle talks about COVID, you can't roll your eyes that blatantly. I know you don't. I know you're not. Bobby, I kid. How are you, brother?
I'm doing well. It's good to be here. I love Christian Cage. I love doing these list shows. They're a lot of fun. A little disappointed that I think we're getting Nick's Thunder in the finals because I don't like either of those teams.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Yep, I feel you on that, Bob. Doing your thing, bro. So, folks, as you file in, it's a big weekend, obviously. It's Double or Nothing weekend. It's a Saturday Night's Main Event tomorrow. We're going to be watching both of those live and free, by the way. Live and free, so it's a great time to be a grinner. We appreciate everyone's support as of late, and as a result of that, going to get a triple header, and the Oracle of Wrestling is going to be there with me for all of those. So that's going to be a fun weekend. And I just want to stress, as always, Bobby has some advice for you if you're just filing in, right, Bob?
Yeah, if you're a big fan of Christian Cage, you go ahead and smash that like button.
Yes, sir. So before we count down, if anyone who's not aware, the way this show works is the way these shows work is we ask the audience, both on Discord and on Twitter, for their 5 favorite Christian Cage matches in order. If you're Rob Naylor, you don't have to do an order because we just want Rob Naylor to be involved, so he doesn't have to do an order. Otherwise, in order. I then tally together the scores on an extensive spreadsheet, and we see what we have as a top 15 by the end of it. It's a very unofficial list, but it's a cool way of gauging the way that our community and then the extended community of people that will engage with a tweet like, what's your 5 favorite Christian matches on Twitter? All right, like you got to be pretty in deep to even reply. It's interesting to kind of get their perspective on that. And before we even get into the list, I actually want to start with something a little fun. I wanted to keep this around just for a moment. I wanted to ask you all what your definitive Christian Cage is in terms of era. When I say Christian Cage, what is the visual that immediately comes to your mind? Bobby, I'll go to you first. Where did your brain go?
I think immediately it is like the Captain Charisma run with the little hood and the the peeps and all that, just because that's like when I was really dialed in. I didn't really watch TNA when he was there, and his AEW run's been good. But yeah, I think I just go right to that 2003, 2005 run with Tomko was involved and he was in the Intercontinental title scene.
Which I think is going to be a common answer because, in chat, give us your answers too, but that's a common answer, I think, because there's a lot of overlap with what you described in TNA, right? Because Tomko's back in TNA too, eventually, the hood and all that good stuff. Donnie, Christian Cage, what comes to mind?
This is, as much as I want to say the ECW run so bad, it actually, funny enough, is the AEW run, because that's the one that I got to live through and actually have like vivid memories of. Because you gotta remember when he was, doing the one more match and the cocky heel gimmick with Orton in the summer of 2011. I was only 6 years old, so like I was watching wrestling, but I don't have like a vivid memory yet. So it actually is probably AEW Christian, which I mean, it's 2023. I'm sure will come up a lot tonight. Is ingrained in my mind as one of the all-time old man years in the history of wrestling.
Yes, sir. We should note for anyone who's just heard heard Donnie say how young he was then. Tune into the 1991 draft on LNG Productions to see Confirmed Shoot have like a whole episode as he realizes.
He got really bad about it.
Yeah, he was like, I think what happened to Oracle was Donnie said a vivid childhood memory was when Jake put the snake on Dean Ambrose and Shoot's like, oh man. But nonetheless, Oracle, when I say Christian, what comes to mind?
So, in classic Oracle fashion, let's break it down. So, I hated Edge and Christian. I fucking hated him. I hated him when I was a kid. My favorite tag teams were Too Cool and the Acolytes.
Dudleys?
And then the Dudleys were 3. Too Cool and the Acolytes were like, and then the Dudleys were the other one. So I remember when Too Cool beat Edge and Christian for the tag titles, they had oh my God, who was it? The little rapper, the small guy. What was it? He was a rapper or whatever. What was his name? He helped him win the tag. He was there with him when they won the tag belts.
I don't know.
I can't remember.
I almost said Kevin Furlong, but that was something completely different.
I can't remember.
Someone in the chat will get you, I'm sure. I don't even know what you're referencing, so I can't help.
So I fucking hated them. Hated it when he turned heel on Edge during the Alliance. Hated him then.
Mm-hmm.
Joe C, thank you. Yes. So when I would say when he started teaming with Jericho after the Un-Americans broke up in late 2002, I started to become a fan because they did those stupid skits, like the ass cream skits, and like I don't know, 10-year-old me thought that was funny for some reason.
Of course.
And I remember becoming a fan of him. I just thought he was funny because, like, I was a huge Booker T fan, and they had the IC title feud in the summer of 2003. And I remember slowly becoming a fan of Christian during that period and just kind of thinking he was just, like, this goofy kind of, like, funny, almost cool heel in a way. And I became a full-on fan during the Jericho feud in 2004 and the pairing with Trish and of course, Tomko's debut and whatnot. He might have been like one of my 2 or 3 favorite wrestlers in 2005. And then of course he jumped. Loved him in TNA. And they always make the joke, there's always the story about how Vince McMahon told Todd Grisham to, just say it's Christian. I'll tell you what, brother, I was in my fucking bedroom popping my fucking fist when Christian came out.
That's the ace
I'll
of
never
sci-fi,
forget
baby.
watching that episode of ECW in February of 2009 and losing my fucking mind when Christian came out. So It's Christian, but I mean, it was a real fucking enthusiasm for me, and he was. I mean, ever since that run in 09 at ECW, he's been one of my all-time favorites. Incredible wrestler. The way he wrestles, the way he puts matches together, brilliant. We'll talk about that a ton tonight. But yeah, just absolutely one of my all-time favorites, especially since his second WWE run for sure.
He's also really funny, which he doesn't get enough credit for. He's actually sincerely funny.
I just found it and retweeted it. This is a tweet from I believe like the weekend or the week after, I should say, Christian returned at the Rumble. And someone tweeted, what exactly... Okay, so Cash Wheeler said, God damn it, Christian is so good, happy to see him back, which is hilarious now, right? Because Donnie's about to see them wrestle in 2 days. And someone said, what exactly do you find so good about Christian? Honestly, I've only thought him as mid-card at best. And this is a Cash Wheeler post that I remember vivid. Listen to this. Quote tweet. He's personality, he's footwork, he's psychology, he's ring positioning, he's mind for the business, his ability to elevate his opponents unselfishly and make them look better than they are, his passion, his willingness to help younger talent, his seamless mic work. But that's it, really. And I remember vividly, that's someone Fightful at that time, and I remember vividly reading that post and thinking, like, it's crazy how many things he's so effortlessly good at. People don't even realize he's that good at them. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just... It's seamless, isn't it, for him? He's naturally such an asset to any wrestling roster and has been now for almost 30 years. So, with that in mind, for there be a fun way to kind of set the table, we're going to dive into our list here in a moment. Matt has been a member for 9 months and says, oh my God, my LNG membership, baby. Glad to see Christian get a real discussion as an all-time theme guy. What's everyone's definitive Christian Cage from? This is a big debate, like which vocal people like for the, what is the song called?
If you close your eyes, you might.
I like the WWE Return version more, but Twitter likes the old one more, right?
Yes, so I agree with you. I prefer the male vocals, but all of them are good. Like, that's the thing. Even his TNA theme, hit the female vocals, they're all good, but I prefer the male one.
What do you think, Bobby? Where do you stand on this?
Yeah, I think I like the female vocal one a little bit better, but that's just because, again, it's the run that I kind of most associate him with.
Yeah. Oracle, do you have a strong take? The definitive Christian Cage thing?
The original 04 and 05 song is always my favorite. I actually think, and I like the male vocal one from the second rerun, but my second favorite is actually his TNA theme.
That theme is
really fucking awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's tremendous. Tremendous stuff. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate being a member, bro. Van Giminator, almost at a year, 11-month membership, and says, I'll be there if needed to assist Christian Cage in Stadium Stampede. Van Giminator, I have to inform you, he's one of the only people that's not in Stadium Stampede. There's 16 other people. He has got
including Andrade, unfortunately.
He's got an I Quit match with the FTR, but I'm sure he's still accepting your help if you wouldn't offer it. So I'm hoping he'll hear this. I don't think he will, and I think he would absolutely hate this show, which is part of why I love him so much. He says, I'll make sure the peeps come alive. Appreciate you, boss. Hope you've enjoyed the grins over this past 11 months. We're now as a platform we're like, I think this is we're getting close to 2 years, right? We're like 21 months or something, I think. I don't know.
Wow. Fuck.
All right. Yeah. Nonetheless, let's dive in. We'll do honorable mentions later so that there's some speculation as to what did and didn't make the list, but it's fitting. We start with a ladder match at 15, and one that I was glad got some love because this feels like a match that has been completely lost to time, and in fact was completely lost in the moment. Like a year later, no one remembered it, but it's damn good. November 11th, 2007, TNA Genesis, a ladder match with Frankie Kazarian. Now, Oracle, this one is a great way to start because this match was so awesome that for about 3 months it convinced them, like, we have something in Kaz, and then they completely concede on that mission, which is a shame. But as a result, it's a lost match, kind of, right? Like, it has no big follow up. It's awesome, though, isn't it?
Yes, it's a great match. It's a match that, if I remember correctly, I certainly wasn't watching TNA by that point. By early 07, I was completely out for a few years. And I would like get the TNA pay-per-views in high school. Like I would get them when they would come in the store. I got like a few 07 ones. So I would like to see the pay-per-view matches, but not like, and I didn't watch the TV, so I didn't, and I don't think I actually have Genesis 07, I think, but I don't think I got it till much.
Was this
later.
the Booker T debut show?
It might have been.
Yeah,
it might have been. This was a match that was praised, and I don't remember when exactly I watched it, but it was years after the fact. And it was a match that was kind of maybe I'm wrong in saying this, but it was kind of a message board favorite where like it was like, oh man, you got to check this. This Kaz ladder match was amazing. And like, as you pointed out, Joe, it's not really a match that's ever really talked about a lot, because it's kind of, we'll talk some about it maybe, but like Christian's 08 and TNA, his last year in TNA was weird, and like it came at a weird time. But man, I watched it and I was like, God dang, this match is great. I think it's probably, Christian has a lot of hidden gems, but I think it's the most well-known hidden gem, if that makes sense. I think it's like a great encapsulation of like, this is the type of like shit he could do. And Kaz is a good worker, but
damn good. Yeah,
he's like, this match had no business being as good as it did,
right? Or feeling as big as it did too.
Exactly. Yeah. Brutal match too. Lots of brutal spots in it.
Yes. I think the most play this match probably got in the last 15 years is probably as a result of Kaz getting the honor of welcoming Christian back to the ring in AEW. Right, he was the guy who wrestled first at Daly's place. Mm-hmm. So there's, I think it was a cool thing that people kind of looked back at this. They also have a TV match that I remember being really good in TNA, and I like their Dynamite match a lot too. I would not rewatch it because the Daly's Place shows kind of scare me now, but I remember it being really good, and they put some time in. Donnie, any memories on this ladder match? Memory is probably the wrong word. Any thoughts on this ladder match?
Yeah, so this is a match that I was doing some like quote unquote research for this show a couple weeks ago. And so I was trying to find matches that maybe I hadn't seen before. And I didn't even know this match happened up until about a month ago. Yeah. And I watched it and I came away thinking like, why is this not revered more? Especially for somebody like Kazarian, who this is like, I mean, a career level performance for him in this match. And this is something that I think Christian excels at. And we'll get into it more and more as the show goes on. But he is so good at like the nuance of matches, because this match is a spot fest. Don't get me wrong. There's so many brutal spots, so many brutal tumbles. And I think Christian even gets some color in this match too, which is a rare sight for him. But the one thing that I always appreciate, especially about Christian in these ladder matches, is that the ladder feels integral, not so much in how you jump off of it, but like the pain it administers. And in this match especially, it feels like a constant race to climb the ladder and to utilize it. And so I always appreciated that, because it takes the match from being, we see a lot of ladder matches these days and a lot of ladder adjacent stuff, and it can get really fireworksy and flashy with no real, nuance or detail into it. But Christian is very meticulous in how he paces things out. And there are points in this match that it is really slow and you're really getting time between the big spots, which I also really appreciate. And I mean, especially in the upper echelon of TNA, I remember in going back and watching some of this era of TNA, there are a lot of great matches all over the place, because you forget how great their roster was because of how mishandled it is. And this is one that I couldn't really believe has like not many cage match ratings, not much conversation on Twitter. It felt really hard to find anybody, kind of remembering this match. And I think it's fucking awesome. So I'm really glad to see it get some representation, because it's up there for my favorite matches of both guys' careers, really.
And it's fitting because, while Christian has a lot of traditional elements to his game and, a lot of the strengths we describe are kind of timeless, he also is like one of the definitive ladder match wrestlers ever. So it's nice we start that way, because that is a huge part of his legacy. It's not a part that I personally, like, my Christian fandom is not super attached to the ladder matches, but he is like an iconic ladder match guy, just by default almost. He has to be, right? So, yeah. Even in AEW, they've put him in a couple of them just to like direct traffic and be there for his brain, I think. Like he did the Wembley one. He did one of those Face the Revolution ones. So gives you an idea of his prowess in that domain. Bobby, what did Dave say about this at the time? And do you have any personal memories yourself?
I don't think I've ever seen this, actually.
Yeah.
It sounds like a hell of a time. Dave said lots of crazy spots. He put over Christian getting some color. The contract fell off the clipboard in this match, and they said, just grab the clipboard. And, Dave liked the pivot that they did there. 4 stars.
There you go. The clipboard match, which came up earlier. Thank you, Bobby. Appreciate you. And while we are changing promotion and going back to a different version of Christian, different era of Christian, we're sticking with ladder matches here at 14. This is one that I rewatched a couple years ago, I want to say. It's from SmackDown, May 24th, 2001. Edge and Christian, Jericho and Benoit, the Dudleys, the Hardys, at one of the TV TLC. This would be TLC 3, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes.
TLC 3. We're sticking with ladder matches, Donnie. This is a very different ladder match because there are a lot more moving pieces, and this is also a match that was really inexplicably tasked with following one of the greatest stunt shows in wrestling history at WrestleMania 17 7 weeks later. But they did their thing, bro. What do you think?
Bro, dude, not only did they did their thing, especially for a television match, because the constraints and all that stuff, it's actually kind of an achievement, really. The one spot that I remember Jericho gets hit with a really nasty chair shot that's really disgusting to hear. Yeah, this match fucking rules, dude. I mean, it basically is in a lot of ways TLC 2. You're just adding, Chris's, which is really funny. And listen, dude, retweets are not endorsements. At the time in 2001, the 2 Chris's were very good at wrestling. And so you're adding those 2. And dude, SmackDown in 2001 has a lot of gems. And I think this is probably the one that stands the test of time the biggest. I mean, I don't know. This is just so much fun. I made my own personal top 15. It didn't make mine, but I figured this would be one that would make it for a lot of people. And dude, it's just a lot of fun. It's kind of cool to see guys obviously Jericho does a lot of stunt shows in his time as well, but it's kind of cool to see him in this environment when he's still relatively young and fresh in the WWE mind. And Christian's obviously awesome in these things. Especially when he's young, he's just kind of willing to throw himself around. He's really game. No one ever really talks about how willing Christian is to kind of just jump off things.
He's a historical bump guy. Never is put on those lists.
Never,
ever.
dude. Because obviously all the highlight reel stuff is Edge jumping off the ladder and the spear on Jeff Hardy, and even stuff like that in this match with the table spots. But Christian, dude, I mean, he'll fling himself off ladders, he'll go through tables, he'll take the chair shots, and it never gets brought up. And he does that here. This match is fucking awesome, and it's funny, like you mentioned that we're sticking with ladder matches. But I mean, listen, dude, when your hit rate with stipulation matches this high, I mean, it's pretty fitting that it's this plentiful in a list like this for sure.
And I do want to establish early here. So one of the things you have to keep in mind when the list is really just a chance to talk about the matches. When it comes to the order, I need everyone to realize you have 5 matches. So a lot of people are not going to want to put multiple ladder matches on their ballot because, multiple TLC matches, I should say, on their ballot because it's, there's only so many spots, right? So keep that in mind. Some of these matches detract from each other on these ballots, and also not everyone had the mindset of greatest matches Christian was in and had more of the mindset of greatest Christian matches, if that makes any sense. So that's a key factor I wanted to use to establish now. Bobby, before we go Oracle, this was a unique one circumstance-wise, right? What was the write-up on this at the time? Because this was a late notice deal.
Yeah, so Dave gave it 4 3/4. Pretty similar to Mania. But for these guys to put this together with 1 day notice was incredible. So yeah, I don't have the backstory on that, but yeah, they did have short notice, and I mean they did put it together quite well. I don't know if I go quite that high on it, but it's a hell of a time.
Nuts, though, isn't it? It's definitely nuts.
It's insane.
I mean, if you take the TLC 2 match and then adding two Dave favorites, he said, and late notice, oh baby, I think he was sweating bullets on a full 5 there. Oracle. This is one of the crazier TV matches in WWE history, fair to say, right?
Oh yeah, I had this pretty high on my list. This is so I didn't have when I moved to the Chattanooga area. I was living in North Georgia at the time. We didn't have UPN. We had WB. And UPN and WB merged and became the CW in 2006. So South Carolina had UPN, Tennessee and North Georgia did not. So SmackDown would come on either the WB or Fox. I think it was Fox, the Fox affiliate, late on on Saturdays, but it would at varying times. So this is a match that I didn't get to see at the time, as it aired. But I remember hearing about like the sort of myth of it.
Yeah, which is almost worse than it worse.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. So like when I finally got to see it, it was like the coolest fucking thing in the world. This is like one of my all-time favorite TV matches because, and also at the time, like in 2001, this was a pay-per-view level match that they did on like TV. Like,
yes.
I mean, obviously by this point they were giving away pay-per-view level match, but like not a fucking TLC match.
Right.
So when I finally got my hands on it, it was like, oh man, this match is amazing. Definitely one of those matches that will always stick out in my head. Just crazy, and of course the addition of the two Chris's and the, I mean, they do all kinds of bumps. This is the only TLC match that I can remember of the original four. Because back like when I was a kid, you had TLC 1, SummerSlam, TLC 2, WrestleMania, this one, and then TLC 4 on Raw.
Yep.
In late 02. So this was of the original four, I want to say the only one where they used the announce table.
Yes, Jeff Hardy does. Yeah.
For a table spot, which I always thought was awesome. But yeah, just an incredible match. And again, I'm with Joe. Like I like ladder matches more than Joe.
Yeah.
But I don't value. It's not the thing I value the most about Christian. But in terms of he's never talked about enough for his bumping, which is just, I mean,
insane.
The dude will literally be pushed off a ladder. It was what, TLC 1 or 2, which we may talk about later, where he gets pushed off and just goes from the ladder to the floor, misses the ropes, and goes and lands on his hip on the floor. Like the dude
he's
is
nuts, bro.
Lunatic. Just all-time great ladder match worker. I remember they made a really big deal of him and Matt Hardy in Money in the Bank 2010. The two ladder match experts. And so the whole match is around them, like setting
kind of
up.
Cool.
Like it was like kind of corny, but also cool at the same time.
Do you know the story about what's the Money in the Bank where Punk wins it like the second time?
That's WrestleMania 25.
Houston?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There's an incredible story where they were doing rehearsal, because obviously for those ladder matches, you have to you can't take the bumps, but you have to get your timing right where everyone needs to be. And there's a spot in that match, which you may recall, where the ladder gets pushed, him and Shelton are on it. And Shelton takes a bump, and Christian puts his foot on the rope and pushes off the rope back to the awesome, like a classic Christian spot, right?
Yeah.
And they're doing rehearsal. And he told the story of Christian somewhere, and he was like, he said to Shelton, whatever you do, don't put pressure on the rope, because if you do, there's going to be the rope's going to just go when I put my foot on it. Christian and Shelton goes, perfect, got you. Shelton does exactly what he said don't do. Puts his foot on it. Christian takes a bump, busts his nose up on Mania Day in rehearsal. He says, Shelton, what the fuck? And Shelton goes, that's what you said to do, right? Put my foot on the rope? He's like, no, don't do that. Watch that spot back. If you actually see the match, Christian his nose gets busted up again because it's, he's already got a bloody nose going into the fucking match. But it gives you an idea of, the reason I bring it up, Oracle, is it gives you an idea of the danger going into a match like that on something that looks even inconspicuous, right? Like something that looks innocuous, I should say. But yeah, as you were saying, those multi-man ladder matches are Christian, part of his story, no doubt.
Oh yeah, I mean he's just it's kind of what, I mean, it's what put all those guys in the mat, but he was so damn good in him, and he was such a smart, the way he would he I don't know, it was just, he was creative and exciting to watch all in one, and then as the years progress,
right,
he the sort of the cerebral side of Christian comes out more. But this is more of the young athletic Christian who takes crazy bumps and does crazy spots. But
right,
yeah, just ladder matches are way overdone now. it's kind of and there is kind of an annoyance to like, right? Like, oh, on another ladder match.
Yeah.
But he has earned and deserves the credit for kind of modernizing and working a ladder match in a way that was unique and creative and innovative. Now everybody does it and copied him and the Hardys and Edge and Dudleys and all that.
One thing I do think he and his crew were great at ladder matches. Yeah, they were stunt shows. Yeah, they were crazy. They also there's violence to them. And I think that is something that sometimes is lost. Now, not always. I actually thought, I don't know, there was a recent big multi-man ladder, there's so many of them, but there's one where it had that sense of danger where it was like, blimey, someone could, which I appreciate.
SummerSlam?
Maybe so. Yeah, maybe so. So yeah, I think also it's important to know, Oracle made the point about TV matches, and I think it's important to stress, you got big matches on TV, they are often TV versions of those matches, often, not always. This was not a TV version of TLC. This was TLC. So, for better or worse, the guys went crazy out there.
And I want to stress as someone, and I think Bobby can agree because Bobby was was watching what 02 Bobby.
Yep.
So back as I pointed out, when I think of TLC, I think of the first four.
Yep.
Because they spread them out so well, even though, yes, 2 and 3 are very close together, right? 7 weeks.
Otherwise, yeah.
That's like, TLC was a huge fucking deal back then. Like,
because 4 is
that's
18
TLC.
months after
Those
3,
are the TLC matches.
Yeah, absolutely. In at 13, we have no ladders. We have a lot of time. We're on Collision, August 19th, 2023. The setup match for WrestleDream with Darby Allin as they meet on television first. This match is incredible, and this is among the most Christian Cage things that he's been able to do in AEW, where he got a chance to have like a really long TV match with a guy he's going to main event a pay-per-view with, or work a big it was a main event, but just in general, work a big pay-per-view match with. In the sense that he walks such a tightrope, they walk such a tightrope in this match, where they give the people a lot of action and put in a lot of time, but they didn't burn any of their stuff for WrestleDream. They just set stuff up, which is like really, really impressive. Bobby, I don't know how extensive the coverage of this would have been, because this was the Collision main event in a time where all the TV matches get high ratings. But yeah, anything on this before we go to the lads?
Yeah, there wasn't a ton, because it was also like right after the Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt stuff too. So Dave kind of had all that going on. So he gave it 4 4.25. But yeah, he didn't have a ton as far as write up.
I didn't expect so. This match is naturally overshadowed by the pay-per-view match, Donnie, but it is it's fantastic, dude. Great match.
Yeah, this match is outstanding. Again, another example of Christian being an excellent bumper. Darby gets a lot of like little flashes, like pockets of offense in this match that Christian sells tremendously, and that's off the back of one of the best control workers in the history of wrestling. Like, Christian is really good at so in this match, the target is the arm. He's very, very extensive on just working over the arm of Darby Allin. And what is really great about Christian, especially as a heel worker, is that every movement, while targeted to the arm, is something a little different. So even if he's going for, say, an arm wringer twice in a row, the positioning of the arm wringer is different, right? Because it's a different look that Darby can't counter. And so I thought that they make such great use of the TV match, because the pay-per-view match, which I'm sure is going to come up later, is more bombastic in that there's more big spots, quote unquote, like Darby gets the shit kicked out of him more. This is more kind of patient and more kind of reserved, but it's such a perfectly wrestled television match, if that makes any sense. Like, the flow of what a television match should be is followed perfectly. Yeah. And like, again, Christian is great at many things. There are very few people in the history of wrestling, I would say, are better TV workers than Christian. The way he's able to put together a match, structure it, every match has different stages and phases, and this one is just like that. And like you said, Joe, it's a setup match, but it's not a waste of a match. Like, you're not walking away from that. Like, you could watch just, like, if you just don't want to watch the WrestleDream match and you want to watch this match stands alone. It tells its own story, and it has its own sections. It has the heat, the comebacks, the cutoffs, the heat, et cetera, et cetera. This match, I think, is awesome. I think Christian the early days of Collision kind of get muddied with a lot of different things, which we don't need to get into. But Christian, for many reasons, is one of the heroes of that era. He is fucking unbelievable.
He's one of the great colliders. Yeah, absolutely.
One of the great colliders, and him and Darby have incredible chemistry in their 2 pair of matches. So this match is awesome, and I'm glad to see it get some representation for sure.
Yeah, I think there's so much made. And I talked to Loss about this recently on Donnie's Power Play program, which you can check out every other Sunday on LNG Gold. But so much was made on the in-house documentary fairly about Hogan and Goldberg being on TV. But as a result of that, I think there's a real fear of like, oh my God, they're doing a match on TV rather than on pay-per-view first. And it's like, dude, if you're good, you can have such a good TV match, you make me desperate to see it on pay-per-view. If you're good. Christian Cage and Darby Allin wrestled for 20 minutes on TV, and my conclusion wasn't, well, I've seen them wrestle. My conclusion was, oh my God, give me 2 out of 3 falls, give me pay-per-view. Like that.
Main event of the pay-per-view.
Yeah,
too.
That's the indication of how to me, that's how it should work if you're that good. That's how you roll, if you will. Oracle, any memories of this one? I know the TV stuff can blend together, but I remember this being a hoot.
I remember that he had that run in the fall of 2023 that was like incredible. And I remember, I don't have a terribly vivid memory of this match. I remember it being great. I remember this one. There was like a tag match that was really, really good.
With him and Ricky against
yeah,
Punk and Darby Allin, which is fucking unbelievable.
There was a Danielson match that I remember being incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, WrestleDream, which I actually did watch recently.
Yes, you did.
The arm work has kind of jogged my memory ever so slightly. But yes, just as kind of a whole in general, I mean, that in the fall of 2023, which was, to be honest with you, for me personally, was like the worst period for AEW for me, other than maybe like after Full Gear 2019 until the beginning of 2020. Like right before they started to build to Revolution, which we know when stuff got good.
Yeah.
That's like the fall of 23 is like Collision was awesome every week, but like Dynamite was like not my thing at all.
Yeah.
And Christian Cage was the best wrestler in AEW in the fall of 2023.
Yes.
Which shows, and tells how great of a career he's had. Because he's in there just doing like workshop, fucking, out there showing these people how, showing all these, in-ring,
the whippersnappers, the young whippersnappers,
how to do it, but yeah, just if anything, it just kind of reminds me of that era. And like, it was because especially in like September and October, it was the best thing in wrestling between the big two. And WWE obviously had a very good year of beginning to end in 2023, but that 2-month period, Collision on Saturdays was like, gotta watch this shit, man. What's Christian?
Yeah, I agree.
Seriously,
I agree.
Like, it was really that good.
I agree, and it's this is me saying this, obviously, so that's saying something. But Samoa Joe got that world title win at the end of 2023. Christian Cage could have easily been the guy to transition that belt to Swerve. Now, it worked out the way it worked out, and it is what it is, right? But I think when you look back on how hot he was, he was certainly in contention. I think the biggest issue he had in that debate was that he already had his own thing with Cope, and he was fine about it, right? It's like, but yeah, he could have easily been the world champion at that time.
I think the cool thing about his AEW run too, which we'll get into more, is like, I remember the reaction when he debuted was like, oh man, this is so, because like Tony hyped it up as this big mystery signing, and everyone was thinking like, because at the time Punk hadn't come in yet, I believe, because it's still Daly's place. So like everyone was assuming it was Punk or as a big female, free agent. And I just remember the reaction, especially on Twitter, was like, Christian, this is so underwhelming. Like, he wasn't a big star or anything.
Yep.
And within a year and a half, it's like, oh, this guy's the best wrestler in the promotion. He should win the world title. Like, it's so cool how, like, a guy who was, I believe in 2023 at the time, 51 years old, turned in what many people consider the best run of his entire career and immediately trains a perception of his whole run, like, in general as a wrestler. It's really cool.
It is funny that he got the, oh man, this is underwhelming thing. And like the amount of guys that come in 2021 and the excitement online was way more apparent. And they had like not even a tenth for the run that he had into AEW is really good to me. Like if you go over all the 2021 debuts,
there's a lot.
The online wrestling fan was excited about so many of them that were not even like a smidge on what Christian actually did in the company, which is he's now been there for over 5 years.
He's in a marquee match at one of their like biggest shows of the year.
Right.
And he's probably going to win.
You know, genuinely, this is like, you know, realistically, we're like, this is the fumes of the run now, right? Because like 2025 was a quiet Christian year. Really quiet.
Very quiet.
He's now getting to a point where, like, as good as he's aged, you can't help but kind of think, like, inevitably, this is going to come to an end soon.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I thought it was kind of over, and then Dynasty happened, and I'm like, fuck, I guess he's back again. So
see that 10-man the other day? Fuck.
Yeah, he's been amazing again recently, so we'll see how Sunday goes. But nonetheless, 13, Darby Allin. In at 12, boys, you like ladder matches, by any chance? October 17th, 1999. This is actually, though, a really important one, historically. No Mercy. Tag team ladder match, Edge and Christian, the Hardys. Bobby, this is the one that's the Terry Invitational, right? The TIT.
Terry Invitational Tournament, yeah.
Yeah, some of Russo's finest work.
Bro.
Yeah, yes, sir. Do you remember when Bruce said that on Something to Wrestle Where Corey was like, and Bruce just goes, yep, smells tip. Yep, that's where we were at. I always liked when Bruce would reflect upon Attitude Era stuff, like they're highbrow now, you know? Like, yeah, we would never. But this is a really important match. Very, very important match. Now, before we get to the significance of the match, Donnie, as the young cohort here on the Grin, I'm intrigued how this plays, knowing that you've seen all the other crazy ladder matches, because this is kind of like a big part of the story to me. Mm-hmm. I actually think the match, I haven't watched it in a while. The last time I watched it, I think it holds up and then some. But I'm intrigued how it plays to you with younger, fresher eyes.
So it's weird, right? Because I actually think I went through a couple of the TLCs a few years ago. I think this was actually the last one I watched when I went through that run, which is obviously the incorrect way to do it. But, you know, 3 years ago, I was just kind of doing shit. I do really like this match. I obviously am not as high on it as some of the other TLC matches, because I think one of the things that this match is very keen on is because it is the first of its kind. It's very heavy on like, let's do the craziest shit we can to set the tone so that people take this stipulation legitimately, right? Like we can make this our staple thing. Let's go crazy. And so I think my desensitization of what ladder matches are in the modern day kind of hurts my perception of this match, because it plays to me more like a modern ladder match. Whereas I understand at the time, this was not something you were seeing regularly, especially stateside. You weren't seeing stuff like this. But even with that, I think this match is still awesome. It's unique, especially because it's only 2-on-2, so you don't have the Dudley's element yet. And I remember, like, for some reason, the Hardys just look so fucking cool in this stretch. Like, they just look so sick. And obviously, you know, Christian's got the long hair, and, you know, Edge is there. I like Edge. I don't know if I like him in 1999, but I like Edge. And this match is, again, I think it's very cool. To me, it doesn't really play up to the level of some of the, especially, you know, the TV one that we just talked about. It is very spot heavy. And so in that sense, it's very, very fun. I don't know how much I get out of it past it being like a really fun match that I can turn on and go, it's cool to see these guys do that.
Yeah, no, I get that. So I wanted to get that perspective immediately, because Oracle, this one is like, I actually do think the match is every bit as great as it was initially received. But it is almost more significant in the narrative of, like, it sets the stage for the TLC matches that are more famous, right? When I say No Mercy 99, what comes to mind, Oracle? Where are you on it?
So, recently I actually watched, like, a lot of, like, old SmackDowns, like, in a row from the first one through, like, Rumble 2000. And so I watched pay-per-views. And so I watched this just maybe 6 or 7 weeks ago. And it's a really great match. What stands out to me is, like, you know, they're doing their thing, and, like, the crowd is kind of, I don't know, just like neutral at first.
Yeah.
And as the match sort of escalates, and JR and King are like, Lawler is like,
he can't believe what he's seeing
by the end of it. He cannot believe what he's seeing.
No.
And like, both JR and King are like, what on earth? And I think they pace it so well. That's what I find so impressive. They don't just get up and do there is that. There sort of naturally is that in a ladder match, right? There's naturally sort of a limited selling when you do a spot fest ladder match. But the way that they paced it felt really natural to me and felt really organic. And each new crazy spot, it felt like the crowd roar was even louder and the responses was even more enthusiastic and more excitable and more like, holy shit, as the crowd is like continually realizing that like seeing something that you've never seen before, you know. It's actually really cool. There's only so much to fully grasp as someone who didn't watch. It was just a few months shy when I started watching. But if you do the best you can to put yourself in the shoes and in the context, and just kind of listen to, especially like I said, the things that stand out to me are Lawler and JR and commentary, and then the crowd's response. Just try to think about like where wrestling was in 1999 in terms of like stunt fest.
Yeah.
Obviously we had seen plenty of hardcore brawling, right? ECW and Memphis really and other stuff kind of brought that into the into the forefront. But this type of stunt show was not
right.
Something you would ever see in American wrestling. Not even really on the indies at that point. Somewhat on the indies, maybe, but not really. Not really.
Yeah, and even beyond the stunt show part of it, that 1999 on pay-per-view wasn't exactly fucking littered with greatest hits, was it? So I mean, this match changed their lives, didn't it? I mean, it gave them a thing, a niche that would lead them to become millionaires many times over. And obviously they would all do bigger things than just jump off ladders. It, in some ways, I think, is a detriment to some of the guys, not necessarily Christian. I think for Jeff Hardy, we talked about this recently, but I think Jeff Hardy is almost a victim of how special he was in these matches, because we don't even realize how good he was in wrestling matches, because he was so great in these matches. So
both of the Hardys.
Yeah, and it all, this is the starting point. And spoiler alert, more ladder matches to come. But first, Bobby, what was the coverage on this at the time, mate?
A must-see match, because if any of these guys make it to the top, it'll be remembered as their first great match.
Wow. Okay, just Bob, one second. All of them still working today, by the way.
Yeah.
All of them still working. And in major spots, like obviously relative, but like they're all still important.
They're all
fucking pro
over
wrestlers.
as fuck, bro. Especially the Hardys are so fucking over.
That is
right
crazy. What a great fucking Dave line. Go on, Bob, mate.
It was more a collection of spots as opposed to a match, but the fans loved it once they realized the rest of the guys are willing to take to entertain them. The crowd reaction was more to an exhibition of stunts as opposed to a drama of a wrestling match. Goes on to say that Jeff Hardy, if his body holds up, will be a Shawn Michaels caliber performer someday. Joe, to your point that you just made about him kind of being hurt by the ladder matches. 4.5.
There you go. A 99 4.5, bro. That was big business. Big business. All right. Before we move on, our friend Yuvme has been a member for 19 months. Shout out Yuvme, bro. 19 months is crazy. We appreciate you very much. He says, "All my days." So, thanks,
in reference to many things.
Hope you're having a good Friday night. Before we move to our number 11, Bobby, do you have any advice for someone who's enjoying this beautiful look of the great career of Christian Cage?
Yeah, if you're having a good time so far, you go ahead and smash that like button. If you did it the first time, you're going to have to do it one more time, at least, because that's two. It's odd numbers. Cancel each other out. You know, Can't be doing that. Can't be doing that.
That was good. I liked your delivery. Was very, Very polished there. That was very good, Bobby.
I'm
Very
good at
nice
this.
done. You are, mate. You are. Tio's good at this. Christian Cage, we're talking about ladder matches more. Different kind of ladder match. This is a contrarian Alex favourite. Raw main event from September 29th, 2003. Rob Van Dam winning the IC strap to close Raw. Alex loves this match, and I think we did this for Grin Grappler. I think. Yes, thank you.
We did.
This is like... This match is interesting to me, and I think the match is great, but I always think it's more interesting as like kind of what you can do with TV, because when you have TV and you have that many, every single week you have to go, right? It's a new show. You can create these, like, I hate the moments word is so weaponized, but you can create these moments on a single night that feel bigger than they have any real right to. And Rob winning this belt in this match feels like a massive deal in 2003. And I don't really know if it was a massive deal, but that's the beauty of having two, guys going to have a great match in the main event, right? If you can convince people for one night, and that's a beautiful thing, I think. Oracle, I cannot recall what we talked about on Grin Grappler, because that was now legitimately maybe 4 years ago.
I don't know about 4, but it was a while ago.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
But yeah, this match is great. I remember vividly the great contrarian Alex pointing out JR going, "Oh my God!" Like when Christian would, or one of Christian RVD took some crazy bump, and yeah, I remember watching this as a kid as it aired. I was a huge RVD fan. Of course, I was starting to become a Christian fan at the time.
Yes, sir.
And just an awesome match. The thing you have to point out is RVD was still very over in 2003, and
yes.
Christian had become a pretty strong mid-card heel, and Booker was very over in 2003. Even after, obviously the Triple H feud killed him dead as a main eventer, as a babyface main eventer. But he was still very over as kind of the mid-card babyface. He had the feud with Christian in the summer. Christian ended up winning that feud against Booker, partly because I think Booker got hurt. So Christian got back the IC title. And so this was like one of the occasional times where you would have the mid-carders main event Raw. Back when the mid-card still existed and, meant something, which it doesn't now. Excuse me. That was inevitable. As I sound like a hog here, but just a fantastic match. Great performance from both guys. Great finish. Just and honestly, a match that I often forget about.
Yeah.
Even though it's actually like one of the 2 or 3 best matches on Raw in 2003. It's Raw in 2003 is like, it's a hand wave, it's that one and then Shawn and Hunter, ironically enough, at the end of the year, like the 2 best Raw matches. So
there you go.
But yeah, great match indeed.
It's funny. You talk about not really. I feel like Christian is like a forgotten. It's forgotten how big a part he is of like the Intercontinental title. He's the guy who gets it back. Who when it comes back, he wins it, right? I feel like he's not associated with that belt necessarily, but he probably won it 4 times.
You got 4 or 5 runs with it, yeah.
Yeah, because he wins it again when he comes back, doesn't he? Yeah. Yeah. So it's interesting. Bobby, was this a TV match got a lot of coverage, or was this just a quick hit and run?
Yeah, there's a couple things. Dave hates these kind of matches because Christian already had a bad neck going in. They take so many chances because people expect them, but it was an awesome effort. He's not a big fan of Lawler as an announcer, but he watched the match back 3 times, and Ross and Lawler were both tremendous. Then he does a recap of the match, 4 stars.
I love, to be clear, Dave is not wrong, but it's so funny when you look back at 23 years ago, neck's hurting him. It's like, how do these guys walk now? They fucking have matches. It's insane to me. I don't know what they're made of. Bobby, is this one you have personal attachment to or memory?
Yeah,
I know this is your era.
Quite a bit. This might have honestly made my top 5 if I did one. Just because I do remember, watching it, and we watch it again for Grin Grappler, and I do enjoy it quite a bit.
By the way, I'll tell Oracle when he comes back, actually. I'll save that. Donnie, is this one that you have any affinity for, mate?
Yeah, I think this match is fucking awesome, dude.
Oh, yeah.
This is easily one of the best matches of Rob Van Dam's entire career. He is the type of wrestler that RVD sets out to be in every match. Very few times has he ever reached the pinnacle of that type of wrestler more than he has in this match. All the high spots he hits are incredible, and they're all so well earned because the entire match is Christian's like, I may be the master of the ladder match, but if there's anybody that can offset my IQ, it's this fucking maniac who's just going to jump off all this shit, including the one spot where he drop kicks the ladder and it lands on Christian's face, which is like just an unbelievable accidental thing because I'm sure Christian did not intend to have a steel ladder land on his face, but he did it anyway. This match is incredible. It's the perfect example of how, Christian in many ways kind of has his match a lot, however you want to define what Christian's match is, but it's always like within the fabric of whatever he's doing. So in this match, right, like the entire thing is just Christian trying to avoid the RVD high spots, and it's him trying to ground Rob Van Dam. So there's a lot of counter sequences and a lot of back and forth without the use of the ladder. That's really smart and effective because then when you finally get the high spots of the 5-star frog splash off the ladder and things of that nature, it feels ginormous in that Rob had to earn that, right? And I think that's the genius of Christian is that every movement matters. And it feels, very Bully Ray busted open as to say things like that should matter. But like, honestly, dude, it is like, and Christian is one of the all-time greats at it. Like there's so much detail in everything he does. And we talked about his bumping a lot so far. He's also a fantastic seller, dude. Like when that ladder falls on his face, he's just like crying on the floor, shaking like he has the shivels. It's so fun to watch. And it's awesome, dude. Again, we talked about how many ladder matches now, 4 inside of 5.
By the way, Donnie, only one more to go, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, which shows you what I said earlier about not everyone put those on, it's weird.
I mean, yeah, and again, like I get it, because to your point, like people put, Christian Cage match as opposed to like matches he was in. Yeah. This is a shining example of match that Christian Cage was in that he also was just fucking great in. Like this is a very Christian Cage match. Yeah. And honestly, kind of in the same vein to that Kazarian match, and like it's a hidden gem that you think would be talked about more just given the names and the time period. But not a match that gets a lot of conversation, but it definitely should. One of the best matches of Rob's career, and an awesome early 2000s TV gem for sure.
There you go. Say his name and he appears. Contrarian Alex. I said he's one of his favorites.
Let me interject very quickly and let Contrarian Alex know that I was not going on a pizza run. I was going on blow my nose, spit in the toilet, and drink some water run. As I appear to be struggling with some sort of illness here.
The allegations continue here, Oracle, because John Burr said, and I quote, "Thought was in a mirror universe thanks to Bobby not only sporting a pencil-thin evil goatee and having no ceiling fan, but then Oracle started carb loading and all was right in the world." And
I guess I'm off to get my pepperonis out or something just to
pot the boys. Yeah, I'm sure that will taste great the way you're feeling. Yeah, I'm sure that will taste great. Oh man. By the way, Christian Cage, Grin Grappler, November 2022. Oh, my God, dude. Wow. Goodness gracious. Thank you, John. We appreciate your support. John is, I know this on WWE, John's getting ahead of himself in terms of support because he knows he's not going to be attending Grin Grappler Alex Shelley, unfortunately. But, these are the games we play. Thank you very much, John. All right. Time to get in the top 10, boys. Top 10, one ladder match ahead of us, but he's not coming in at 10, because at 10, he is the first big match of a very underrated rivalry from his career that thankfully our community knows Ball and is celebrating here tonight. He and Samoa Joe had incredible chemistry. At Destination X 2007, they have an NWA World Title match that is an NWA World Title match from front to back. And I think because the blow-off at Bound for Glory, not everyone is aware of this match existing, let alone how good it is. This is a pay-per-view main event. This match is terrific in ways that I think challenged Joe and brought different elements out of Joe's game, which I think made him a better pro wrestler in the long run. Love these two as a pairing. Donnie, Joe and Christian, this is right up my alley, brother.
Yeah, these matches are awesome. I just rewatched both of them this afternoon before I headed to work, both this and the Bound for Glory match. And obviously the Bound for Glory match is going to get the conversation it deserves, but this match should be, given the treatment like you brought up. Christian, I think, is just so good in TNA, which is like, it's a weird phase of his career because, people kind of talk about it, but they don't actually really, there's not a lot of detail when talking about it. It's just kind of a thing that people oh, it's cool. He went to TNA and got to be a main event guy. But like, especially in the hierarchy of Samoa Joe opponents, he's actually not as far off the greatest Samoa Joe opponents ever as people would think just by looking at like the matches per se.
Probably like second tier, right? Probably.
Yeah, he'd be like under like, what would you say, besides like Punk, like who would
AJ.
be like AJ, maybe Daniels if you want to go that far. But like, I just think Christian as a heel, especially like the cowardly stooging heel, works so perfectly opposite Samoa Joe, whose entire thing is, I'm just going to kick your ass, dude. Like, as soon as I get my hands on you, I'm just going to beat the shit out of you. And you really can't do anything about it. And that's what you get here. It's the usual brand of Samoa Joe being a badass, Christian pumping his ass off, looking like a pussy. And Christian, again, in great control. He's so good, especially, chopping down the big man, chopping down the tree, so to speak. And he's really good at doing that in ways that's so kind of tiny and minute, but such a sniveling little prick when he does it because he's so smug about it. That's Christian is very Tully Blanchard in that way, where like, he's very smug and arrogant, but what makes you really mad about him is that he's as good as he tells you he is. So you can't even like refute when he's in control of somebody like Samoa Joe. And this match is awesome, dude. It's one that I had seen the Bound for Glory match more recently than today. So this one was kind of a fresher watch on mine because I hadn't seen this match in, I want to say like a year and a half. And I had even forgotten how good it was. So yeah, really, really happy that it made the top 10, especially in that Christian and Samoa Joe as a pairing is getting more love.
Yes, sir. John Burr, prepare yourself because you and I need to handle some business here in a second. In the meantime, Bobby, what was the coverage at the time, and is this one you've seen, mate?
I have not, and Dave didn't really give it too much besides just
he didn't like this very much.
Yeah, just besides the match recap and all that. He gave it 4 stars, but he said
what?
This is the time where he has the reason I say he didn't like it, Bob, I'm sorry I cut you off. At some point in these years, there's the thing about how like some of the boys don't think Christian's having good enough matches to be the top guy in TNA, and that's a weird thing that's been lost to history. Bobby, as you were saying,
the finish was clever, but it was the wrong finish for the time, was what Dave said about this one.
I never knew
Fairs.
that. Well, you just said that guys in TNA didn't think he was having good matches.
So I guess like some of the X Division guys probably didn't like fully appreciate his style. I guess I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that like the guys working with him, I'm sure got it, but I don't know. It's just it was interesting, but
weird.
Alex Shelley didn't appreciate his style.
Honestly, he's probably one of the guys who's most likely innocent, but that is it's funny because he's grin grab. That makes sense. Yeah. Oracle, I love the finish. What do you make of this match, mate?
Love this match. In some ways, like their 07 rivalry kind of runs together because I haven't seen it in a while. But I remember really loving this match. And that's why I ranked it so highly on my list. And just like it's a total Christian match, and I like that you pointed out, Joe, how Samoa Joe, kind of learns from this, and Joe was such a violent, fearsome wrestler in the early and mid 2000s, and this match is a lot more putting the pieces together structurally and pace and
pace is a good one,
and things of that nature. And I think that's a good shout. I think Christian really probably was, this feud was probably really helpful in teaching Joe, particularly in as we've seen in his AEW run, Joe's AEW run, how to pace main event title matches, how to do that sort of NWA World's title match, which I don't think Joe was necessarily. We got a little bit of that with the Punk stuff in 04 and Ring of Honor, but
it's different, isn't it? It's like obviously he had him and Punk in their own way was very NWO because the time they put in. I do think this felt like a better look at him in a more traditional main event style. Maybe would be the word. Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, great match. Remind me of the finish because I remember liking it, but I don't remember exactly how.
Is the classic spot where a guy's in the choke and they roll through and pin them, Piper and Brett.
Mm-hmm.
He does that, but his feet are on the top ropes. So the referee's counting the pin, and Christian's feet are all the way up on the top rope, pinning Joe down to the mat.
I remember this. Yeah,
brilliant,
yeah.
Brilliant.
I remember.
Okay,
we got to get Bobby to read some of these.
Bob can take the second one. I'm going to take the first because John and I have something with. He said, never understood the Christian love. Solid hand, don't get me wrong, but he was part of the greatest entrance in wrestling history, the Brute. P.S. Alex Shelley's a thin, flaccid wiener. These are his words, not ours. The Alex Shelley thing we'll discuss in a week's time, less than a week, with Contrarian Alex. However, the GWE has been unveiling its results, as we know, right? And that's a great thing, and shout out to everyone involved. But there is a reaction thread that can be quite explosive at times.
Oh, yeah.
And some friends of mine sent me some funny quotes from the reaction. They sent me a screenshot. I'm looking at this screenshot and it says, I never really got the Roddy Strong thing. I mean, he's kind of like a modern day Tom Zenk. And I read it and thought, who's this fucking asshole? And then I looked up and saw Master John Burr. I said, that's John Burr. That's one of our assholes. Tom Zenk.
That's fucking.
I mean, you could have given us a little more than Tom Zenk, right? Like you could have given us a little more than Tommy Zenk. I mean, come on. Like, I get mad enough at the Malenko one without being Tom Zenk. So, I read it multiple times and then went, who's John Burr? Went, oh my God, it's John Burr. So, I've been saving that for when he next showed up in the chat. But shout out to John. We appreciate him very much. He always pops us. And with that in mind, Bobby, if you can take this one.
Fit, Joe, with that one. Damn.
I'm sorry. I had that in my back pocket. Bobby, take this one.
Since Donnie brought up Tully, who is Christian's Crockett analog? To me, I've got him as Marcus Bagwell type, which is not slandered, by the way. Terry Taylor, I don't think he's transcendent as Tully.
This is gross, bro.
Not slander, by the way.
Early 90s Marcus Bagwell was pretty good, actually.
Yeah, but in how would he?
Oh, he's not Christian Cage.
what would the thing be?
We have to, I know John. John's a little bit older, so
he's popping himself, is what he's doing. I know John's game. Tom Zenk.
Tom Zenk.
I do agree Tully doesn't feel right, but it feels more right than Marcus Bagwell to me. Right?
I mean, I would hope so. I think Chris is pretty good.
Yeah, we're just gonna take Tully because you already wrote that one off. We're gonna take Tully, all right, John? Thank you. All right, back to business. Samoa Joe match is awesome. It would be, yeah. All right, in at 9, we're staying in TNA. We're entering the 6 Sides of Steel. April 23rd, 2006. Steel cage match with Abyss. This was a bloody, heated affair, a very personal conflict, very personal rivalry. The Oracle of Wrestling. This is one I actually have pretty vivid memories of being just like man, TNA is still doing some crazy pro wrestling. In a time where WWE, there was a lot of blood, no doubt, but the actual, the tone of WWE stuff was very, Vince thought it was funny. Uh-huh. This was pretty heavy leather stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah. So this was Lockdown on 6, right? So
yes.
We ordered this show. I remember watching it live. For some reason, I was just like, I don't know. You get caught up in the moment when you're a kid, and like weird things get like frustrate you. So Samoa Joe's unbeaten streak was infuriating to me, and I thought like, no way he's beating Sabu, bro. Like I was like, that's
bro.
I'm 13 years old, so I'm like smarting up some, but I'm still a kid, he ain't beating Sabu, And he fucking beats him in like less than 10 minutes, and I was so fucking mad. But yeah, this match kicks ass. I was a huge Christian mark by this point. Great match. Great feud. They have a Full Metal Mayhem match the next month.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. Not as good as this one. But this match is awesome. Christian's just like taking big bumps, selling, just the things that he like really excels at as a babyface. Great match. Have not seen it in a long time, but I remember vividly watching this show and like popping for it, and you know, after I had cooled off about how mad I was about Samoa Joe beating Sabu, you know.
This was the angle I was like. I remember the angles being like,
oh yeah, that's right,
extreme for this match.
That's the one. Alex Shelley took this video, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yes. Tonally, this was interesting stuff. 2006 TNA is crazy because you kind of get a glimpse of the promotion they could have been, and then plans change. I've not seen the Bloodiest Brawls DVD. The fact they have one of these has popped me huge. I may need to investigate this. Thank you very much, Ty, for cluing me in. Bobby, what was the contemporary coverage? You're a big Abyss guy too, so if you have any personal anecdotes, feel free to throw them in.
Yeah, no, I like this match quite a bit. Dave was not super into it. The crowd was chanting "We want thumbtacks." For some reason, there's something wrong with a world title match when people's main concern is seeing someone take a bump on thumbtacks. It's all the same cliches we see far too often. And then, as overdone as this all sounds, both guys worked their asses off the entire time, and it was really good. 3 3/4.
I mean, in fairness to Chrissy Cage, I don't know if it was reflective or indicative of the world title match not being over the one with thumbtacks. I think it was more indicative of the fact that it became Abyss's calling card, which is a detriment, to be clear. That was an issue. Mm-hmm. But I don't think it's necessarily an indication the world title match wasn't there. I think it's an indication that Abyss had kind of pigeonholed himself, which he really did. In the late 2000s became a big issue, sadly. Yeah. But yeah, my goodness. Donnie, Law Blood, brother.
Yeah, I actually had never seen this match until a few hours ago. I watched it this afternoon too. Holy shit, this match is fucking awesome, dude. I don't get a chance to talk about him a lot, but Abyss is one of my all-time favorite big men. I love Abyss a lot. Obviously, this is not as good as the previous Lockdown Steel Cage match he had the year before. That one is like a fucking mesmerizing piece of business. But this match is awesome. It's cool, especially because it's a different type of match for Christian. Obviously, he's had the stunt shows with the TLC matches, but this match isn't really as big a stunt show as you would think, just off some of the big spots like the thumbtack spots and and I can't go any further without mentioning this poor referee who got fucking thrown around like a piece of shit the entire time. I mean, Abyss chokeslammed the poor fucker into the cage like he was a child. Like, what the fuck, man? Guy didn't really do anything. But what I really appreciated about this match, and what I think Abyss really excels at with these cage matches specifically, is that sense of danger, right? So obviously they start the match off crowd brawling. I mean, there's a great camera shot where Christian's music hits and they do the zoom in on the Titantron with all the fast cars. And then it cuts to Abyss walking in the darkness trying to find Christian. And then Christian comes out of the tunnel and just double legs him, and we're off to the races, and we get the crowd brawling and all that stuff. And I always find that really, really cool in the Abyss cage matches, because his whole thing is that he's this really dangerous, eccentric monster who you don't really know what he's going to do, where he's going to go. And it pits Christian immediately in the underdog role, which, especially, in 2006, he hadn't really got to do a lot because he was a bit, he was the top mid-card heel in the WWF beforehand. Mm-hmm. And I found his performance in this specifically to be really endearing and a great indication of his versatility as a worker. He just gets his ass kicked for so much of this match. And really where he shines is he gets, again, those little pockets of offense, where he's just being able to throw 4 or 5 punches in a row, and that's really all he can get. He takes a great black hole slam bump in this match, one of the best I've ever seen a guy take. And obviously, like you said, Joe, the thumbtacks become a bit of a crutch, and by a bit I mean a very big crutch for Abyss later in his career, but I think there's still the novelty to it, especially when a guy like Christian can hoist them up for a powerbomb and I mean, he does the kill switch on them, and he lands on his face, and Abyss does the whole like, oh my God, like he's shaking. In that sense, this match is awesome. It's such a different Christian Cage match and performance. And again, like we're probably going to throw out a lot, and we already have. A really underrated match, dude. Like, it's a match that you think would get so much more coverage and praise than it does, and it's so much lost history. And again, part of that is because Abyss had the instant classic, no pun intended, with AJ Styles the year before. And Christian obviously went on to, he has the Rhino match where there's more blood in that, for example. Mm-hmm. But this match I think is awesome. Again, 2 guys who have better chemistry than they're giving credit for. And I'm glad this made the list. Dave, you might be wrong. 3 3/4, man.
That's pretty good rating.
For Dave, especially, yeah, I get it.
You remember this? You gotta remember. To be fair to Dave, at this time, bro, he's gearing up for the Randy Natural Couture's. Randy the Natural Couture's next fucking fight. You know,
that's fair.
He's watching Arlovsky and Tim Sylvia. He's got other things to worry about.
That's
Shout out
fair.
Dave. But yeah, it is interesting. We've all kind of touched on it. Christian's TNA run is so fascinating historically because it's one of the more discussed runs of his entire career, but almost never by individual matches.
No, it's just like a broader thing.
Which make you think he doesn't have great matches in TNA, but like he does. The topic with him in TNA is more about, that's when he proved like he was a real deal top guy. And it's just funny that it's always done through this lens of like, as you said, the broad topic rather than that program he had with. And again, let me be clear, the programs and the matches are there. It's just the way TNA, as we've discussed a million times, it's a strange thing from a historical point of view. I think we're seeing it even with some of the greatest wrestler ever guys who came in many, many hundreds back, right?
Yeah.
I think people still struggle to weigh up what TNA meant historically, but it's being represented on this list nicely, and we're sticking with TNA. We're actually staying in the 6 sides of steel. The aforementioned Rhino match that just came up. This was a big night for TNA. Primetime special, 2 hours, TNA Impact, November 16th, 2006. Barbed wire steel cage, Christian Cage and Rhino. They were embroiled in a program that they had a Bound for Glory match just before this. This, Oracle, I believe, was high on your ballot, I want to say.
It was.
This is an insane Christian Crimson Mask on television of all things.
Oh, baby. I mean, his 2 best Crimson Mask ever are this one and the cage match with Jericho and Raw on 04.
Yeah.
This one is like, holy hell. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, did you post the finish of the match?
Yes.
The finish is so
I
sick.
just rewatched this, yeah.
Unbelievable. Rhino just gores him through the cage and Christian wins.
The bomb that Christian took, though.
Bro.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Like, it's
He sounds like he died.
horrifying,
He
bro.
might have.
Awesome match. I loved this feud at the time. I thought it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I like TNA Rhino through 06. So
This year he's great.
05 and 06 Rhino is fucking awesome.
Is the
Like-
famous Monsters Ball 4-way that he's in with like Abyss, Hardy? Is that this year too?
That's
Or is that 05? Is that 05?
05?
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
He was so motivated, so motivated, and it really showed, especially in this program, Oracle.
Yeah. But like and these guys obviously, were friends. I think they had really good chemistry. Like just an awesome feud. Because it's funny because after this feud, Rhino has a feud with AJ, and that feud is not terrible, but it's not like it's just kind of there. They just didn't have good chemistry.
That's when they had the scaffold.
Christian and Rhino, and again, probably because of their friendship, right? Like,
they went way back. Yeah,
had
way back.
Really good chemistry together, and like that whole feud is awesome. And this is like, I think it's basically the end of the feud because like Christian wins it, but it's in a clever way where like he gets his ass kicked and winning, and like.
Do you remember the thing he does after?
Fucking bleeds, breaks the Muda scale here. Awesome.
Yeah. Do you remember what he does after this, Oracle? He comes back out later in the show with like his head bandaged up, and he's like, "I'm still undefeated," and AJ Styles potatoes the fuck out of him with a drop kick to kick him off the apron, and they wrestle at Genesis.
because they had their match at Genesis 06, right?
And all I could think was, dude, after the match he had, AJ just kicking him straight in the head was the last thing that dude needed. But it's a fun deal, and to your point, I do think Rhino has been around so long that the actual peaks and valleys are almost lost to he's just been there the whole time. In this year and change, he is terrific. He really, really is, and he's a big part of this. I rewatched an hour ago. I have some more extended thoughts in a moment before I get to those. Donnie, what did you make of this one, mate?
I think this might be the best match of Rhino's. I think this match is fucking on. You mentioned Bound for Glory. I had to make this quick note because we're doing a TNA thing right now. One of the all-time great hype packages is the Bound for Glory 06 hype package with Enemy by Fozzy. And Christian and Rhino's part in the video pack specifically is fucking awesome because it's showing like, you know, older pictures of them when they're getting into the wrestling business and their friendship and all that stuff. And the feud is fucking awesome. Like Oracle mentioned, this match, if you've never seen it, Christian, I mean, I didn't know Christian like was capable of bleeding this much until I didn't even. Most wrestlers aren't capable. I don't know how many human beings should ever bleed this much, ever like willingly. And again, it speaks to how willing Christian is to go these extra, which again are almost never talked about. Like this is another match that no one ever talks about. The fact that Christian is bleeding on a level that, and again, like Joe, you pointed out, this is on American wrestling television in 2006. This Crimson Mask is like. The immediate one, especially in 06, that pops out is Hunter's Crimson Mask at Backlash 06 in the three-way with Cena and Edge. Mm-hmm. That's the one that say this is on that level, and it's on fucking television in a match that has commercial breaks in it, bro. Like
I do wish we had that commercial break stuff, dude. Bro, we lost so much. We lose the root of the juice and everything. Dude,
this match, if we had the commercial action, there is a legitimate argument this is the best match in TNA history. That's how good what we have is.
To that point, So this episode it was recently featured where Cornette did the thing where he found the format. You know that thing that he'll do sometimes where he like finds just in his fucking closet TV formats. And I guess Jarrett at the time asked him to like review the show or something. I didn't get full context because it was just a clip. And he was reviewing this and he was like, "Great match, kind of match TNA needs. It's a shame we lost so much of the match to commercial so we could fit in the Kevin Nash skits." And I was just the idea of him being tasked to watch these shows and make notes and being the guy who gets the notes, you know, like. But in that case, he wasn't wrong. I mean, I love the Kevin Nash skits, but cutting anything from this match was a mistake because this match was magnificent. To your point,
Christian, like, I don't know, man. Like you mentioned earlier, I can't believe this guy has a fucking major pay-per-view match right now in a day. Like, it's unbelievable. And one of the things that we haven't mentioned yet, the crowds at Universal Studios around this time are fucking awesome, dude. This crowd is so hot for this. One of the things that I think goes understated, especially Joe, because you brought up how big this match was for TNA, the crowd meets that moment every step of the way. It's like they recognize how big of a deal this is. It's very akin to the Samoa Joe Bound for Glory match where the crowd recognizes that they're witnessing something that is like formative for the company that it's happening in. And it's the defining performance of Rhino's career. He is so mean and he's like, it's all warranted too. Christian's been a fucking prick, but like he is so mean and ruggish and he is just throwing Christian around. And again, to Christian's credit, he's just willing to let himself be a complete ragdoll. The blood is a career-defining sight that somehow has not defined his career because no one brings it up. Well, it's unbelievable.
It has to be said, 2007 did the amount of damage they did to the atmosphere in the Impact Zone in the year after this. Like I watched, so it isn't on the list. So I'll say here, I watched Christian and Joe's TV match from after Bound for Glory 07, which is like it's pretty good. But watching that match with that crowd a year after this is like holy shit, the damage they did to that building and the damage they did to those hardcore fans that they actually were like a TNA audience at that time. It's insane. But terrific stuff. Bobby, I have no idea. I have a feeling we're gonna have a similar theme here. Which again, let me be clear, this isn't like a Dave Bad. It's just we have the contemporary coverage for some.
Carol. Christian bled buckets. They went 15-33 and rushed from spot to spot. The crowd was very into it. The match would have been better without the weapons, but that's going to be the story of this promotion for a while. Overbooking and many things have no meaning. It was silly watching the refs pass the weapons through a hole in the cage when the wrestlers asked for them. I'd go 3.5, and it would have been higher had they not used all the weapons.
All right, fair enough. Fair. By the way, I did want to know, before I just put a bow on this match, for like this kind of concept, if you're into this, the Sank Fun coming up, in a few months, we are celebrating 10 years. It's like just off the anniversary. But it's 20 years this year since Kurt Angle showed up in TNA, right? So one of the shows we're going to be doing in September, I believe, which I think is going to be really interesting, and it's kind of in line with this, we're going to be doing a list show, but specifically for Kurt in TNA. Which I think is going to be really interesting because I don't know what the actual consensus votes will be at all. So
that's like Christian and Kurt in TNA are like both sides of the coin for a major stars run in TNA, because I think both are overcorrected in the complete opposite way to each other. It's so funny.
Yeah, very interesting.
Cool.
Big fan of you, mate, saying the spirit of Cornette coming out whenever Dave speaks. Spirit is one way to put it. Just a good cellular device will get it done. But nonetheless, I did want to speak on this match for a moment here before we move on. I watched this match an hour ago, as I said, and I have to be honest, I kind of found it to be like a little bit bittersweet in the sense that I mentioned earlier that TNA in 2006 has moments where you get a look at what it could have been. Seeing two guys that had been on Major League, big time wrestling TV for years prior to this, work this hard at the Impact Zone, and then like realizing where this would be in 3 years was like, it was kind of sad, to be honest. This is a primetime 2-hour special for TNA. They start the show with pyro and confetti to celebrate that they're in primetime on Spike and have 2 hours. Like, that's genuinely how they start the show. And here are two guys that have been, and not to say Rhino was a top guy in WWE, nor was Christian for that matter, but they've both been to the show, right? Quote unquote. I hate to use the cliche, but it's the truth. At that time especially. And to see them work this hard, it's like, it kind of is sad how much they lost that feeling as a crew, Like, even Christian, by the end of his run, looks like he doesn't want to be there. Rhino, by the end of his run, is like just a guy. It's kind of, it's hard to watch without thinking about those elements, but it's a great match. I loved it, watching it here. Just an hour or so today. I also loved our number 7. We're jumping all the way back to AEW. October 14th, 2023. I have a vivid memory of this match. Bryan Danielson, Christian Cage. Goodness gracious. This was an absolute beauty. I think they genuinely go almost half an hour in this deal. This is like 25, I reckon, at least. This is that run we talked about. We're back there again. Bobby, was there extensive coverage of this again? I know this was... TV is hard, so I'm not expecting Dave to...
I'll read the whole thing real quick. This show was all about the Christian Cage vs. Bryan Danielson TNT title match. I had an awesome match, 4.5, maybe the second best match in Collision history. Finished work because they didn't want to change the title, plus the gimmick is Cage always has helped to win. They're also doing finishes like this a lot, and while WWE can get away with that, AEW has to be aware of not overdoing it and becoming a booking crutch.
Fair. That was the one with the belt shot, right? Yeah, I get that. Dave is such a god because 4 months into the Collision run, he'll go, second best match in Collision history. 4 months into the show's existence. This match is a beauty. I have a vivid memory of this, which I'll get to here momentarily. But before I do, the Oracle of Wrestling, you mentioned it earlier. This came up when you were talking about this run. Two of the greats who didn't actually work a lot at all prior to this. A couple WWE TV matches, I think. Very seldom. Maybe one? Let me have a look. I'll look into it. But in the meantime, seeing them get a chance to just work like this was so great, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, this match was fantastic. I remember it being really long, but like in a good way. And I wish I had rewatched some of this stuff beforehand. So my memory isn't as good as I wish it was. Even though my memory is good, but if I don't rewatch a match, it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But I just remember watching it. I don't know. It was during football season, so it's possible I watched like
football on,
but I remember watching it and being like, "Holy fucking shit, this is amazing!" And like popping for it, and like just like being super like. If anything, I remember being super excited they were going to have a match because I think they do an angle beforehand to set up the match.
Yes.
So they do like a match or like an angle the week before.
They had a week to promote it. Yeah.
Yeah. So because I remember they set up the match and I remember being like, oh man, because by this point Collision was like, and I mean it, like it was the best wrestling show.
Oh, it was awesome.
at the time, like, and again, this was when WWE was pretty hot, and this was like. Collision was easily the best show. And I remember just being like super thrilled and excited, and it delivered and then some. And I remember Loss like really putting this match over on the socials and stuff. Like, and this match just kind of being really talked up.
This made one of his
comps ourselves, you know.
Oracle. This made one of his season of giving, like his personal comps loss.
Mm-hmm.
He put this on there.
Yeah. This match is, again, apologies for the memory because I didn't rewatch, but I definitely just remember thinking, man, this is like definitely one of the better TV matches of the year.
You were watching live. You said, and I quote, this was your official review.
My God.
The Canadian Rage, Christian Cage. I replied, God, what a beautiful match. You said, you can always count on the Graps when your sports teams fail you.
Oh, you know what? South Carolina was bad that year. So
you're watching it live, yeah. You text me halfway into the show, I'm just waiting for Dragon Christian, if I'm being honest. I was thinking we definitely text match. So I have a vivid memory of this match, which I'll get into more in a moment. But for anyone wondering the way that we do this, the guys don't know the list. So the reason it's not like Grin Grappler where you rewatch and take notes is part of the idea for these as a project is it's trying to capture a wrestling fan's gut feeling and instant reaction. So when we do the tweet, while you are more than welcome to watch every Christian match you want and make a ballot, there is also, we always encourage people to just fire like, okay, I'm thinking Orton, because to us, that's just the fun of it. And in the same way, you know, we've done some of these, and Alex on one of the shows said, like, I haven't seen that one. It's not supposed to be a completionist thing so much as it is a snapshot of what the wrestling fan remembers, picks up on. Now, with that being said, Donnie, you're very young. What are your memories?
So I had this at number 5 on my ballot. Yep. I think this is easily the second best Christian AW match. There's one that hasn't been mentioned that would be higher on mine. I have a vivid memory of this match as well because I remember this is when I was really starting to get on wrestling Twitter, which your mileage may vary on whether that was a good decision, but it was 2023. I was looking for things to do. I was unemployed. So I remember when they did the angle and they specifically when Tony Khan dropped the graphic. And I legitimately structured my week around waiting for this match to happen because I had no memory of them wrestling in WWE outside of the 2014 Chamber, which they don't wrestle directly, but they're both in it. And so to me, this was like a first time ever dream match because Christian was my favorite wrestler on the planet in 2023. And obviously Bryan is one of my all-time favorites from childhood. So getting to see these two wrestle, and they wrestled. And this is now, I don't throw this term around all. This has become a legit comfort match of mine. Like I will watch this at least like once a month. I haven't done it yet this month, but now I'm going to. But to me, this match is the simplicity of wrestling executed at its greatest form. Agreed. If you actually take what they do in this match, they don't actually do a whole lot in terms of like moves, but they make so much out of everything they do. Again, Christian in control is a beauty. He's so mean. He's so rigid. Bryan is an unbelievable seller, almost a little too unbelievable. Like everything is to an extra degree with this guy. I mean, there's one specific spot that always stands out. It's a back suplex on the apron, the classic where you trap the guy's arm to specifically drop him on that arm. And Christian, I mean, he just flings Bryan on the fucking apron, which I don't know if you guys know, is the hardest part of the ring.
True.
That's what they say. And when Bryan lands on his arm, if you go back and watch it, he lets out the most visceral, like, ow, I've ever heard. It's unbelievable.
He was incredible at this time also, by the way.
Bryan, like, listen, AEW, like Oracle's mentioned, was in a rough state in 2023. Not these two. In fact, I'd argue this 2023 is one of the best years of both guys' careers. And this match is a shining example. To your point, Joe, about the Destination match with Samoa Joe, this is very old school world heavyweight title match. The pacing, the escalation, the drama, the near falls at the end are the way that they capture the people by the end. Like most people don't believe Bryan's going to win the belt because, you know, Bryan's got his own stuff going on. But it's the mark of two incredible wrestlers that every near fall they're biting. They actually think Bryan's going to just win the TNT title on a whim on a television. It's an unbelievable match. I don't know if it's not the best match of Christian Cage's career. However, if somebody were to be like, can you give me a Christian Cage match to show why he's so, I think this would be the one I point to because there's not a lot of fireworks. It's not very flashy, but it's everything that he's good at down to the minute detail, because that's what he is. Christian Cage, in many ways, to maybe his greatest rival ever, Randy Orton, for all the faults that people may throw out at both of them, they're both incredible at the detail, and Christian is exceptional in that. He takes so many great bumps in this match. Something that Christian's really good at is when he's in control, he's such a prick, right? He's so smug and he'll let you know about it. When the tides are turned on him, he's such a fucking pussy, just cowering away. The way that he sells the famous yes kicks, for lack of a better term, of Bryan is unbelievable. The way he flails his arms in the air. He's always trying to get out of stuff. This match I could talk about this match forever. I think it's one of the best matches in AEW history. It's one of my favorite television matches of all time. It's beautiful. It's just beautiful. That's my one word for it. It's beautiful.
Works for me, brother. Just to quickly clarify, this is not a Grin Along program, boss. We're just talking through a list that's been collected over the last month or so. So this is a match I have a very vivid memory of, because this was the same night as New Japan Royal Quest, which I attended with my mother and father. My mum's it's not true, first wrestling show. MJF got to return to a wrestling show at York Hall, but this was her first wrestling show. She immediately commented on the way it smelled, and I said, yep. But we had a great time. We had a great time. She got to see, like, the Ishii match, which, when you see it live and you've never seen it before, is fucking awesome. And then the main event was Zack and Will. And she's a big fan. So, it's like 11 p.m., maybe 10 p.m., leaving Royal Quest, and it's the same night as this. And I said to my dad, dude, Bryan's wrestling Christian tonight. We gotta watch Collision. So we fucking went home from Royal Quest, battled through Collision. Clearly I was texting Oracle along the way, exhausted, because when you've seen a wrestling show, 4 hours of wrestling, you don't really need to be standing up to watch wrestling. We got there, we got to 2:30 a.m., main event time, Christian Cage, Bryan Danielson, and we just had an absolute blast watching that. It's a vivid wrestling memory of mine.
That's awesome.
Me and my dad watching Bryan and Christian, and yeah, I remember this match feeling like it was like a time capsule. It was just like you hear so much. I was talking to someone about this recently. Like you hear so much about you can't do things the way they used to do them because the crowds won't react and this thing. And I think there's truth to it, but I always think so much of it is projection from the talent of like. If you really set your mind to it, you can actually get a lot of the old school simple stuff over. I actually think the fans in the seats are not as different as we convince ourselves sometimes. I think a lot of it's projection. I actually think often the guys in the ring are more different than the fans in the seats. And this match was such a great, like, example of what you can do with, as Donnie said, actually very little considering how much time they put in. And that isn't even an it used to be better thing so much as it is, like, the best guys figure out different ways to have great matches. And a great match can be anything you want it to be. You know, it's just all a matter of having a clear vision. This is so different to the match that Bryan had with like Eddie Kingston in the C2 a month later, for example. Like, it's completely different matches. And that's, to me, is what I remember most of it. So I'm going to rewatch it because it's a beauty, but that's a vivid memory I have.
Anything old is new if you add little sprinkles into it. And I mean, you couldn't have picked two better guys to have this type of match than Christian, especially in 2023. Like, it's awesome, dude.
It absolutely is.
Glad
Bob
it happened, too.
Me too. Bob O'Neill.
Yep.
What should people do if they're enjoying this but wasn't here the last time you told them to do something when they enjoy it?
Yeah, if you're having a good time here so far, you go ahead and smash that like button. If you've done it the first 2 times, you're good to do it one more time. It's an odd number.
Yes.
This wouldn't be your 3rd time doing it. It's your 1st time doing it, you could do it. 2nd time, you're going to need to do it one more.
Wow. It gets more complicated as the show goes on, doesn't it, really? All right, tremendous. I was trying to find out a guy who lost his review of this match, but I could not because Substack search is fucking brutal.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, this was on. There was like a handful of Collision matches. It was like this, the FTR Bullet Club Gold stuff, and something else. But yeah, it's tremendous.
Might have been the Punk. I remember the Punk tag got a lot of love in that sector.
Yeah. There you go. Thank you, Cal. Co-signing Bobby's sentiment. We're almost at the top 5. We're still 1 spot shy. In at 6, we're returning to TNA. we're returning to the Samoan Submission Machine. TNA Bound for Glory, October 14th, 2007. This is a match we talked about actually at pretty good length not that long ago on the Bound for Glory list show, which check that out. Same format for Bound for Glory. It's now, God, it's fucking 30 grins ago probably, but
Oh, way more than that.
this is has to be one of the most WrestleMania undercard matches in Bound for Glory history, because this is a genuine two top guys that have a program on Mania and they make it matter, and the crowd is so into it. This is such a cool thing. Donnie, I believe you posted some clips from this earlier.
Yeah.
Bound for Glory very seldom produced matches like this, to be honest. As much as they branded it as their WrestleMania, it very seldom had matches between top guys that felt like a real, this is actually a big deal, this matters. This one felt that way, and the crowd definitely felt that way.
I mean, the only Bound for Glory match is the Beer Money Street Fight. I mean, that's really the only thing that comes to mind is on this level. I mean, yeah, I rewatched it this afternoon. I posted a highlight reel on Twitter, and the thing that stuck out to me immediately is how into it this crowd is from the jump. They don't even have to earn it. The crowd, there's that moment where after the initial lockup, after Joe just drops Christian on his face very roughly, because of course he does, they do the classic stand still, let the crowd have their moment thing. And it's actually especially because again, this is TNA in 07, and they do so much damage to their own image. And it's really a shame because again, you recognize the talent roster that they had at the time. This feels like one of the last moments where TNA kind of feels on its own in a way, and not just a product of a broader wrestling system. And in that sense, it actually kind of made rewatching this match, like you said, Joe, about the Rhino match, kind of sad, to be honest.
Yeah.
Considering that, again, you have Christian Cage and Samoa Joe, and that's just two guys on a long list of talented guys that could have matches like this. And they never reached these heights again, almost. Very rarely did they. And yeah, this match is just, I mean, dude, it has obviously the famous spot of the walk away where Joe kind of does the, he flips him off as Christian's just, and it's so fucking funny. The spot of the match to me is the ole ole boo, where he completely destroys the barricade with his foot, which is just and all Christian does is he just kind of falls out of the chair very slowly, very seldomly, and just face plants. And a match is good when a interference from Matt Morgan and Tyson Tomko is actually 2 thumbs up. Those two big sons of bitches just threw punches at each other, and I went, fuck yeah.
Shout out Big Tomko, because he's not going to come up really at all, but he was a big part of Christian Coalition, man. Yeah, he's there in both companies. Yeah.
Fucking AJ takes the wild bump when Morgan just flings him off the rope, and it's just, oh, dude. And Christian takes an unbelievable muscle buster bump where when Joe brings him down, he springs up. It's just this match is just incredible, dude. I mean, it's the Joe Christian match that you'd anticipated, but it's kind of weird because I think this match is only 15 minutes or so. It's not even
that's what I mean by WrestleMania. Some of those big WrestleMania matches between top guys that aren't in a title match, they'll only get 13, 15 minutes. But they feel like big matches. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. They pack so much into it. And again, this is just another Christian his bumping in this match is even more so than some of the other matches that we talked about so far tonight. He does the classic, his dive off the top to the floor and just face plants on the steel barricade, just face plants. And I'm just okay, man, you don't have to do any of that, but sure.
And dude, he took that Bound for Glory shit seriously, bro. He was the one guy who did.
See that fucking DDT he does in that match, the one where he flips off the rope and he it's just, this match is awesome, dude. Joe beats the fuck out of him. Joe also fucking, especially when he was younger, very, very good bumper, never gets talked about. He bumps it, especially for a big man, bumps his ass off really well. It's just, in a lot of ways, it's kind of like a mini epic. They have all the makings of a main event epic, just not with the runtime. But
15 minutes is a lot of time.
It is.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah. And dude, the shining example is the near fall off the low blow where Christian, this is an example of how good Christian is with his facial expressions. When he gets Samoa Joe in kill switch position, he takes that extra 5 seconds to just look at the people and go, oh, I've got him now. And he hits him. And Tanae's not about for glory, not about for glory. And he goes, yes. And Joe kicks out and Christian's whining. And it's just, it's awesome, dude. It's such a great match. And I think you, Joe, on the Bound for Glory show called it the best in the show's history. And at the time, I think I had the Rude Store match. In rewatching it today, I think I agree with your sentiment.
It's up
this
there,
match
for sure.
This match is it's one of the best in TNA history, really. This match is incredible.
And it was a big thing, too, because they were both like undefeated in whatever the fucking thing was. Like, Joe obviously previously was undefeated, but Christian was still undefeated, I think. I could be wrong.
He might have been, because I can't recall.
I think in the triple threat, he lost the... I think he loses the TNA belt in a freeway and doesn't get pinned, I think. And then they do King of the Mountain. I could be wrong on this. I think the thing was he'd never been pinned or submitted.
Because King of the Mountain was Slammiversary that year, right? So that would have been in like June.
King of the Mountain was always a Slammiversary thing. So I think the thing still was he hadn't been pinned and submitted. I haven't watched this in a minute, so I should know. But Oracle, we covered this on the Bound for Glory show. Is there anything you want to add? Because again, there was only a few months ago, so folks, check that out. I'll put a link in the chat actually.
No, this is a pretty great match. I prefer the Destination Destination X match a little bit more. It's interesting because this is in many ways this, and then sort of the Kaz match the next month. They're kind of the end of like Christian carrying in TNA because like he has the Kurt Angle matches in 08, which were pretty good, but like by the end of the run, like remember they have a weird deal where Christian turns back face and he has the it's him, Kurt, and AJ, is it? Versus or no, is it what's that 3-way feud they do with the Team 3D or whatever? It's
yeah.
It's and they have like 3 straight. It's like all the summer of 08. It's like the entire summer of 08.
I don't know.
But yeah, exactly.
It's weird, bro. Yeah.
And like his last year in TNA is just like you could tell he's so wanted out of there in that last. But this is, and I think this match in particular, and again the Kaz match is awesome, as we talked about. But this was kind of the end of. It was like this was the end of the run, like in a lot of ways, and this was. This kind of put a nice bow on that. I mean, again, the Kurt Angle matches are good and stuff, and he's still good in 2008, but he just doesn't care anymore. And this was the last time he like really like felt like a big deal in TNA.
He told the story of this was a big deal for him. To do this, and I think he saw Joe as someone that was pivotal to the future of TNA. I'm glad someone did. And he told the story actually when they had Joe on their pod, which I was over recently before this. Joe got to the building for Bound for Glory and Christian came and said, "Do you want to choke me or pin me?" Joe said, "I'd choke you. That's good. That works." So it gives you an idea of Christian's mindset of like, obviously he fought for the fact that his first pinfall loss, his first full loss, I should say, would be to Samoa Joe. So I think that gives you an idea again of what we said earlier about kind of some people went there and got it and understood what the promotion needed, and they're still, allowed him to thrive in AEW too. Bobby, I know Dave liked this match very much.
He did. The way he covers TNA is kind of weird because he doesn't always add stuff. He just does like the straight match recap. But I said super heat from the start. Went through it, kind of enjoyed it. Called it a great match. 4 stars.
Yes, sir. Before we get to our top 5, John Burr, Super Chat. As someone who saw most of Christian's WWE career and almost none of his TNA run, what percentage of his greatness was spent in the 6 of the ring? So I would say, to be honest, our list, I think, is actually a really good reflection in the sense that, spoiler alert, we've covered the TNA stuff now. TNA is come and gone. And I actually think if you were to put like his matches in tiers, I think a lot of the TNA stuff is not the best. Some of there's exceptions, but I think a lot of it is the very best work of his career. But it's the next tier. It's a lot of it. There. It fills that second tier. And I think more than the work, John. Now I do think the Joe stuff's worth looking at. I think more than that, it's a matter of perception-wise. He kind of proved his worth as like
it's the way he
real
carried
guy.
himself.
Yeah, and feeling like a star in TNA. So I would say in terms of the actual best matches, I think you'd have to pair AEW and TNA to kind of. Then you'd have like maybe half of his best work, I would say. Just TNA, I think there's a lot of very, very good stuff, and there's a couple matches that are great, but it was more of a perception thing. and an image thing. Thank you very much, Super Chat John. We appreciate you. Speaking of AEW, we're heading that direction here at number 5. This is Rampage, baby. AEW Rampage premiere August 13th, 2021. And this was a huge night for the Late Night Grin because this was the night that inspired the Late Night Grin to exist as a platform, which is hilarious. The show started with an electric atmosphere and a TNA World Title match of all things, an Impact World Title match, I should say. Christian and Kenny doing the dance on television. This is the match people remember from these two, even though they main event the Chicago pay-per-view. People just remember the angles after, even though that match is really good. This is the match people remember. It's a moment. It's Rampage. It's crazy to look back on now, but at the time, the idea of AEW getting one extra hour of TV was so exciting at the time because they were so hot. And like just needing that extra hour was such a real thing. And I don't mean to say they're not hot now. It's just different now because they've had, like last year they had 5 hours, or a couple of years ago they had 5 hours of television every week. So it's just different. Bobby, what was the coverage of this one, mate? Our Rampage kickoff, and any memories for yourself? This was a special time for the Grin.
Yeah, it was for sure. This match is awesome. I like both their matches quite a bit. I think this one's a lot better, though. Yeah, there's actually a lot to this because, Hangman wasn't around. He wasn't going to be at All Out, and he was originally the plan for Kenny there. And so they had to go with Christian, and kind of Tony Khan had to work with Scott D'Amore and Tommy Dreamer to find a guy that would work for beating Omega, and Christian kind of felt like a natural fit, and he did kind of turn into one. And great match. Dave gave it 4.5. And yeah, like you said, just a special one to think back on 5 years ago now.
Yeah, crazy, isn't it? 5 years ago. Insane. My goodness, the Oracle of Wrestling. You would emerge on the Grin maybe 2 weeks later, right? Episode.
Yeah.
2 or 3 weeks later. Yeah. Memories of watching this at the time, and man, special times.
Oh yeah, this match was fucking awesome. I actually regretted not putting it on my list. Probably should have been on there. Amazing match, amazing crowd, amazing moment in time in wrestling. Just like honestly, I think it's my favorite Kenny Omega match ever. It's not a Kenny Omega match. It's a Christian Cage match, and it's a way of putting a match together that I prefer.
Yeah.
And Kenny's a great dance partner here. I don't want to pick on him too much.
Just more to your taste.
This was Christian's match, and it's pretty great stuff, man.
Remember the atmosphere for this, dude?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing that always sticks out, like the match. But I just remember just like the atmosphere. Yeah, just the crowd and the reactions were just fantastic.
Damn, it's so hard to go back to you're only a month removed from Daly's place at this time. It's insane, man. It's it feels like a lifetime ago, and it was now 5 years ago, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Donnie, what do you think?
Dude, wow. 5 years. Fuck, man. I remember how big AEW was in 2020 because I thought WWE was so fucking bad. And I had obviously, I had obviously explored I tried to explore the outer WWE world a few years prior anyway, but obviously I was still relatively young, so I couldn't really fully grasp the New Japan Epics in 2017, dude. I would have been 11. How I could watch them and be like, oh, that's cool, but I couldn't really fully understand why it was so this felt like the first time I could fully grasp an outer WWE entity being important in wrestling. And I just remember how I remember my friend calling me, and he had been out of wrestling for a while, and this was around the time of the Punk rumors, and he's like, dude, so is CM Punk actually coming back? And obviously he comes back the week later, and I was like, yeah, dude, I think he is. And he's like, do I have to watch this AEW thing? And I was like, dude, it's pretty fucking cool. And we ended up watching that first Rampage together at my house, and that match is just so fucking good, dude. And the atmosphere is incredible. Unfortunately, a lot of my memories also attached to hearing Jericho screech on commentary and how stupid that was.
Mark Henry?
Yeah, I gotta go, guys. I gotta go interview. I'm like, I'm sure, man, whatever. But that match is unbelievable. Christian, it gets lost again because his 2023 run is so good. He's so fucking good in 21 as a babyface. Even in TNA as well, he's really, really good. And he's incredible in this match. Like Oracle said, it's a real Christian Cage match and how it's formatted and paced, and very, very reminiscent of some of those classic TNA matches that he would have, where it was very prevalent on that final closing stretch, that babyface comeback. And man, when he finally gets the upper hand, and I believe the finish is the kill switch on the chair, which Omega sells brilliantly, which might not even be a sell because he was in like the most pain a wrestler's ever been in his life, really. But the way that crowd responds in that, like, you can't even really hear the commentary. Like, it's just fucking crazy, dude. Like, it's one of the most, in a lot of ways, it's a snapshot of what AEW was in 2021. And I don't even mean that as a knock, because everyone always thinks that, like, if you say 21 was really hot, that it's like, you're right. Attacking the other.
It was
period.
fresh. It's different. Yeah.
It was such a fresh thing. It felt so new. And especially, Kenny Omega, I thought was really, really fucking awesome in that run. The goatee was a little aggressive, which definitely was the goal, because it really did piss me off. But it was just kind of cool, man, to see Christian, because, again, he had been out of wrestling, 7 years at that point, too? He left in 2014, I believe, as well. And so, to me, like, it was my real first chance to kind of understand him as a wrestler, because, again, you only really get so much when you're a 9-year-old kid watching a guy who's on the verge of retirement. And so I remember it being a big deal to kind of watch him have a world championship match on television. And yeah, the match meets the moment. It's awesome. I haven't seen it in a long time. Same with the Chicago match. I haven't seen it in a while, but I remember liking that too. Obviously, like Bob said, I think this is the better of the two. But it's just kind of an example of what you said earlier of, like, you can do matches on TV and still do them again on obviously different circumstances, because, they thought they were going to have Hangman, but you can do matches on TV and still make them feel important for the pay-per-view. And this match did just that. So it's really cool. He won the Impact World title on AWTV. That's fun. What a weird Christian Cage fun fact.
And that TNA run's fun too. Like, those shows are cold because they're in the Skyway Studios. But, yeah, the Myers match is good. Ace Austin match is good. The Josh Alexander match is good. They're all good matches. It's just
different time.
How many people saw those? I don't know. But here's a good note to kind of quickly just kind of put a bow on Christian as a babyface. Because, otherwise, from this point forward, with a little bit of a catch, he's generally on the dark side.
My nod to Christian as a babyface.
Yes. Yep, big clap guy. Big clap guy.
Everyone says it's mystical. Christian Cage.
We used to do that. We used to joke. Me and my brothers used to do that whenever Christian would come on back in his babyface run, 09 to 11. We'd sit there. We'd be in the living room.
It's a big part of his career that I think he's so much better as a character as a heel that I think it's underestimated how good of a worker he is as a babyface.
His comebacks are awesome, dude.
Work as a babyface is amazing. So
excellent hot tag too, by the way. Excellent hot tag.
Yeah. So it was a good note, kind of to circle that. But we're into our top 4 here, folks. In at 4, gonna be controversial. It ain't higher. WrestleMania 17 or X7, if you will. April 1st, 2001. TLC, Edge and Christian, Dudley's, Hardy's. This would be TLC 2. This is, like, as we said, a month prior to the match that came up like an hour and a half ago. So, to be honest, there's not a lot left to say about this match. It's maybe the most iconic, like, stunt show, spot fest match ever because of the show it's on, right? Like, this is maybe the most acclaimed WWE show hit in history. We recently covered it on Criterion. Bobby, let's set the stage with the contemporary coverage, and then we'll piece things together from there, mate. Go for it.
Yeah, let's. I mean, it is basically just a match review from Dave here, but I mean, like you said, I mean, what has not been said about this match in the past 25 years or whatever. 4 3/4. Obviously, all 6 guys do incredible work, and it kind of revolutionized things. You still see clips of it played, today, and yeah, I mean, it was as well received then as it kind of has been over the past 25 years.
It certainly was. Donnie, this match to me is at a point of sort of, I don't know what we could add to the conversation. I'm willing to let you try. What do we think? TLC 2 is pretty bonkers. Isn't it?
I mean, like, this is a match that, you talk about the video packages and all the different historical things. This is a match that will legitimately outlive pretty much every wrestling fan. Like, people in 200 years, I'm sure, if wrestling is still around, which hopefully it is, in a good spot, I mean, I don't know, but like, there's a chance that the edge spear off the ladder is still gonna it's gonna exist. It's some form, even if people have no idea what match it is. It's just
200 is strong, by
200 is strong, but the broader point is that like everything that you can possibly say about this match has been said by literally everyone that's seen it. It is in its style of match the perfect spot fest stunt show. I mean, like everyone is just throwing themselves around. Tables are broken. People are jumping off ladders. People are bumping their ass off. It's on, again, probably the most popular WrestleMania of all time. Like, it's it's a match that you show it to anybody, even if they're not a wrestling fan, they'll get some level of enjoyment out of it because it's just so fucking crazy. Like, I was about to say 6 human beings, but you got to include Lita and Rhino and Spike and all these people. Like, there's so many there's so many moving elements in this match that like it's such a whirlwind. You're always looking at something every step of the way. It's never dull. It's never boring. I mean, it's incredible. And again, it's a testament to Christian that like it almost feels wrong to talk about this as like a Christian because he's one of many moving parts that make this match go. But again, he's outstanding, willing to take all the stupidest bumps imaginable because of course he is. All these guys were. It's multiple daredevils doing everything. And again, it's cliche to say at the dance, but like there may be no more WrestleMania type match than this one because it's like in all the ways kayfabe and otherwise, this is what WrestleMania is for. It's the big show where everyone goes all out to make the memories that'll live forever. Not to quote Ibu and his Bronson retake, but you know what I mean? Immortality in that way.
Yes, immortality. That's immortality. Man. Wow, that's unfortunate. The Oracle of Wrestling. This would have been a definitive match, I feel like, you as a young fan, right?
Oh, absolutely. I remember being so fucking mad, dude, because, like, watching this show when I was a kid, Rhino cheating and putting...
Yeah. Bullshit.
Yeah, that's bullshit, bro. But yeah, awesome. I mean, amazing match. One of the most famous matches in the, since the turn of the century. I mean, as Donnie put, I mean, like the spear onto Jeff has been shown on television thousands of times. Jesus. But leave Matt Hardy alone. That's not fair. Matt Hardy was quite good for a few years there.
Yeah. He's really good in this match.
We'll get to it as you were.
But yeah, this match is. I go back and forth between this one and the first one in terms of actually what I like better. There's an energy and an electricity to this match that is unmatched, I think, because of the setting and the sort of atmosphere and everything around it. And of course, the added appearances of the lead of Spike and Rhino. First one I think is maybe a little bit more logical, I think.
Yeah, this one's more colorful probably because the run-ins.
Yep. Yeah. But classic match, great match. One that was probably always going to be in this top 5, right? Probably, probably one that's always going to be beloved and finished pretty highly.
I like where it's at, to be honest. Like, it feels like it should be in the top 5, but also it does feel right there because it isn't the most Christian match. So it feels right that it's not. It's interesting, yeah.
Not a top 3, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. Bobby, you can take this one from John, and Oracle can answer, and then once Oracle's done answering for the final time, if you can implore people to do the smashing of the like button, that'd be great. Thank you, Bobby. Take it away.
For sure. Oracle, does the majesty of this match make up for the ensuing reigns of terror from Edge, Matt Hardy, and worst of all, Bubba, Benzani, Dudley?
So, I've had to cope with Edge for a long time.
Ooh.
Good.
So,
that sell that Bobby just gave you. Holy shit.
I get that.
That was the podcasting equivalent of when Rhea would spike bump on Zelina's DDT right there,
Matt Hardy, listen, the last 16 years, I mean, there might be some issues there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
05 to 08, Matt Hardy.
Good ECW champion.
Great ECW champion.
What about Bully Ray?
Bully Ray? Well, I mean,
He has the AJ match, Oracle.
2011, 2012.
if you could sew his fucking mouth shut, it might not be so bad. Or, ban him from podcasting.
Yeah.
But I like Bully Ray as a wrestler. Light, probably more so in past tense, maybe not in recent years.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I think Matt Hardy's getting it's only
Deserves
about 3 or
better.
4 years there, but
Yeah,
in terms
deserves
of a single star, that was worthwhile. But
I agree. Yep, we're on the same page here. Bobby, I stopped you from doing what I said we were going to do. So one last time for the house.
Yeah.
What should people do
one
before we
last
get into our
time.
top three, mate?
As we get into the top 3 here, if you're having a good time, go ahead and smash that like button one more time.
Yeah. Unless you're already done it, then
Right,
don't.
yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Number 3. On its 15th birthday.
Oh, yeah.
My personal 1 seed. Over the limit. May 22nd, 2011. Christian, Randy Orton, World Heavyweight title hanging in the balance. This is one of my favorite wrestling matches. Full stop. This match is incredible and is tonally about as WCW as the Big Gold got in the 10 years prior to this. Like in that time, this match has like a sports feel to it. It's a babyface match, which is why I called myself earlier when I said that Christian's a heel for the rest of the list. He turns heel coming out. This is a babyface match. The work in this, the rhythm, oh my goodness, so much to talk about. The Oracle of Wrestling, an absolute beauty. Maybe my favorite Randy Orton match, to be honest.
oh, just to, I mean, this is the type of match that, like when you read a Matt D review and you go over there and it's like the artist is, it's like the paintbrush is,
Yeah.
This is basically a Matt D review is what this match is, and it's beautiful to watch. Some of the most intricate sequences that make sense, that are hit perfectly. The selling, the pacing, the near falls, the crowd, everything about it is just tremendous stuff. I agree, John. That's the thing. I mean this in the complimentary way.
Yeah.
We love Matt here. I don't
We do.
always agree with Matt, but in this case, I just feel like I'm reading a Matt D review that
It's just so pretty, isn't it?
it's one of the prettiest matches you'll ever see. And I'm someone who likes rough and rugged wrestling, but
Yeah.
and I prefer rough and rugged wrestling, and ugly wrestling perhaps. But pretty wrestling, when it's done in a certain way, there's some caveats. It's got to be good selling. There's got to be good logic. There's got to be good pacing and structure. This had all of that. One of the best matches you'll see from the last 25 years. I still stand by that.
And do you get my thing with, like, you and I have talked about, we both love that very distinct WCW babyface match or big fight feel thing they do, where they would really focus on a kind of sports element of it. This match has that, right? It's fascinating. This match actually has a bit of that sports feel. It feels like it doesn't feel like it's Over the Limit 2011. It feels like it's Great American Bash 93 or whatever the fuck, 93 didn't exist, but you get my point. Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Bobby, what was the coverage at the time, mate?
Dave liked it. Thought it was a very good match. Gave it 4.25. Really liked what it set up. At the intros, the crowd seemed more pro-Christian, but it evened out, or maybe went to advantage for Orton as the match went on. The crowd popped big with no boos when Orton won. Booker said that Randy Orton reminded him of himself. Did Orton have a brother that he carried for 10 years that we're not aware of?
Wow.
Wow, dude.
Dude, the idea of that being the key point of the review is so awesome. That's amazing. I love that. Holy shit. All right. Randy is, maybe the definitive Christian rival. And they were such a great match because Christian just seemed to be overwhelmed with ideas for how he could plug Randy's talent into these different creative sequences and all of the, the learned psychology that Oracle's taught us about through the years. Donnie, this is an all-timer. I love it. What did you think?
This is an all-time WWE pairing. I mean, these guys are just perfect opponents together. This match is unbelievable, dude. Christian is, I don't know how this statement's going to sound, but I'll say it. Christian is one of the best counter sequence wrestlers ever. Like,
yes.
A lot of guys, when they do the counter for counter stuff, it can get really very sequence heavy, and it doesn't really look that good. And it looks like guys are just kind of waiting around for counter to counter, spot to spot. With Christian, everything flows so well. It feels so natural. And in this match particularly, because in a lot of ways, in the context of this feud, this is a setup match because they go on to have a few more matches after. So this really is a setup match, but it also has its own identity. This entire match is Christian trying desperately to prove he's on Randy Orton's level. Obviously, he famously loses the title technically 2 days after he wins it because they taped SmackDown at the time in a decision that was fucking terrible, but alas, whatever. And in this match, you can really see it in Christian's, desperation and his body language and the way that he approaches this match. Yes, it is very slow and it takes its time and it develops, and the near falls at the end are incredible because of that. But it's almost entirely paced like that because of Randy Orton. And in a lot of ways, it's a very different Christian performance because, yes, he is still a babyface. It's a very pseudo heel performance, though, in that he's very backdoorish. He's trying very desperately to kind of exploit different holes in Randy's game. And there's one incredible counter where Christian's going for the spear and Randy just manages to catches him for the power slam, which the timing on that, how you're able to pull that off with such is unbelievable. There's the very famous, it's the GIF I posted earlier, the fake out spot where he hits the back elbow, he leaps up on the middle rope and Randy's going to catch and Christian's just I got you, and then sunset flips over. Yeah. And it's just stuff like that, dude. Every counter in this match just feels so natural, and it's timed perfectly, and Randy is unbelievable. And you mentioned this match looking pretty. I mean, both guys are just in incredible form, whether it's physically, their physiques, they're both in great shape. The crowd responds to it really well.
Big gold.
Big gold. It just looks and 2011 WWE is fascinating that the crowds aren't dead per se, but with the exception of Punk and Cena and Bryan, they don't really care about anybody.
Yeah.
They care about these two a lot.
And
dude.
This match especially, this show fucking sucks. But this match, they're
the main event
molten
is
for. Yeah.
That main event is that horrendous I Quit match with Cena and The Miz. It's just a 2-on-1 handicap match. That's literally half an hour. That match is
this show is awful.
Terrible show. But dude, the Joe and Christian match at Bound for Glory, the crowd has their moment at the beginning where they're just going crazy and both guys are looking out like they're fucking doing their Rock Hogan deal. It's so fucking awesome. And this is not my personal favorite Christian Orton match, but their series is so good that it's splitting hairs. You asked me on any day, this would be my 1 seed for Christian and even for Orton, dude.
Yeah.
Orton is so fucking good in this match, dude. His punches, his drop kick, the way that he I know for a lot of people, the quote unquote methodical pace of Orton can be really boring. And I understand that because some of those matches, dude, he can get very
Some of them are boring.
Yeah. Oh, they're fucking terrible. Not in this one, dude. He's so fucking good in this match. He's on. This match is incredible.
Yes, sir. The story goes that on the day that Christian won the title, it was already decided he was dropping it on SmackDown. And Edge told Vince to let Christian win the belt without knowing that, rather than just win it while knowing it was going to be over. But as much as there were many moments where they cynically fucked Christian over, it wasn't that. The idea was that they needed to get to SummerSlam with this program, and it was May, right? And so in 2011, you have monthly pay-per-views. The idea of a four pay-per-view program, it was pretty daring.
It worked in the end, to be fair. So.
Yeah, it did. And the reason they did it that way was because they needed a heel, and Randy had just turned babyface. And look, obviously in an ideal world, Christian had a longer run than a title, but it did work out the way it needed to for that feud. The part of the story that's interesting is the whole thing with SummerSlam. They almost changed plans. The July pay-per-view where the DQ finish happens,
Money in the Bank. All-time show, by the way.
That almost was the end of the feud, and they were going to do Mark Henry winning the belt at SummerSlam. And I only learnt this week because I was listening to Randy on their DNC pod. The guys were so desperate to finish their story, they agreed to get to the building early to meet Vince and plead with him to let them do their SummerSlam thing that they wanted to do. And Christian's like, I remember being, it's so awesome. Christian says, I remember getting up early and thinking, why am I even doing this? There's no fucking way Randy's going to be at this building early to talk about me. And he said he got to the building, he walked in, and Randy was there before he was. That's how much it meant to Randy Orton to finish the program the way he said, we've almost got there. Don't take away from us now. We've spent all these months getting to this point. Let us get to SummerSlam and finish this thing. And they did, and Randy, Christian talks at length about how Randy didn't even want to win the belt on SmackDown, but it was the right thing for the feud. And it's very, very cool. I think it's one of the cooler wrestling tales of that time. And with that in mind, 2 seed, SummerSlam, August 14th, 2011, no holds barred, Christian, Randy Orton. This is the end of that story. It isn't actually they have a cage match after, which is also, by the way,
fucking
awesome and no one remembers. Like their whole series worth. It's probably the most, I would argue it's the most bingeable wrestling rivalry maybe ever, because every match builds on the last match in terms of the counters and stuff. So if you want to binge them, it's worth doing that. But SummerSlam 2011, I like this match. I've never liked this match nearly as much as Over the Limit. Like, I think it's good. It's a little too Derby plunder for me, but it is fucking. These guys can't help but have great matches. It's what they do. Donnie, I'm going to presume this is generally your preferred Christian Orton match, right?
Yeah,
we're losing you, Joe.
Oh, I'll be back in a second. No worries. It does this sometimes. Go on, Donnie.
Yeah, this was my 1 seed on the ballot in general. I think this match is fucking awesome. I definitely understand the criticisms of it being very plunder matched, especially WWE plunder match in the PG era, but I think these guys do such a great job because by this point in the feud, Randy is like properly pissed. I mean, all he wants to do is just beat the shit out of this little asshole who has fucked him out of the world title all summer. And dude, those Singapore King kendo stick shots are fucking outrageous, dude. He waffles Christian like at least 8 times in a row in one stretch of the match. And Christian just, like, he doesn't even get to move. He just has to sit there while Randy is just waffling him. There's the RKO on the table. That's also the RKO on the steps. Like, I think the reason why this match stands out to me is because a lot of feud enders, and granted, again, like you said, this isn't really the feud ender because they have the cage match after.
That's like a bonus feature.
Yeah,
really.
This is like the big blow off to that story. Is this match on the second biggest show of the year, third or whatever, depending on the Rumble? It feels that way especially in Randy's performance, because it's like the way that he approaches this match is he has no rules that he has to abide by. He's going to take out all these months of anger, and it shows not just in all of the weapon shots, but in his punches, his limb work, the Orton stomp, for example, the way that he milks the drape DDT and he really takes it in to sink in that, like, this is months of frustration I have. And this is an example of we've talked a lot tonight about Christian in control, but also Christian as a weasel. A lot of this match is spent on him on the back foot, trying his best to run away. There's that extended crowd brawling sequence as well, where Christian's just running around, trying his best to get away from Randy. And his facial expression, Randy finally catches him by the hair, and he's like, no, just don't. It's so awesome. And I think as a blow-off, I really couldn't ask for much more. I think it's an unbelievable match. Again, I go back and forth. Right now, when I made the ballot, this was my 1 seed overall. I think it's the best match of Christian's career. It's not far off Randy's either. Obviously, Randy has the Cactus Jack match, which I'd probably name as my 1 seed for his career personally. But it's not a lot of blood, but I do think either Christian or Randy, their elbow gets fucked up. One of them, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
And Randy gets his lips get.
Yeah, so which is like, it's not a lot of color, but it adds to that sort of grounded, ugly wrestling that, this feud built towards. And so in that sense, I think this match is incredible. I think this feud is incredible. I knew that we were going to get to it eventually. I was wondering which of the two would, kind of beat each other out, because I knew that these would be the two that we get to. So it's nice to see that this is, the one that beat it out. But
it's interesting that Orton, he didn't show up at all on the list until 3 and 2.
Says a lot, really.
Yeah, the other matches they got votes, but these are the two matches. Bobby, on the heels of a hefty yawn, what did Dave say about this, mate?
He liked it. He put over the match. He put over the feud in general. Gave it 4 stars. He kind of thought that they might do one more with Hell in a Cell coming up, but they did the cage match like you guys said instead. But yeah, he enjoyed it.
Oracle, where do you stand on this and Over the Limit, mate? They're very different matches, which is a credit to the rivalry, right? Where do you stand?
Yeah, I prefer Over the Limit. This match is great. I saw the show in a bar called George's in Charleston, South Carolina, that no longer exists.
MLW country?
Correct. My hometown as well. And it was so I was in Charleston for like 2 weeks, or like just shy. It was the last big vacation trip before I went and moved into my dorm my freshman year at UTC. And I remember we watched this show, and Del Rio cashed in at the end of the show after all the ridiculous shit with Nash and all that shit.
Nash.
I was up all night. I had to get up the next day to drive back to Chattanooga, and my dad was staying at a hotel, staying at my brother's, and Dad comes in. We gotta go. I don't know. It's just like this show. That like whole period's like a vivid memory for me. I never put that together. I may have at the time, but I love the shout of how the springboard dive into the RKO onto the stairs, which is an incredible finish, brutal finish.
Awesome finish.
I believe Randy cuts his thumb in this match, right? Or hand?
Yeah, it's something, yeah. We couldn't figure out what body part was.
It looked gnarly, though. But I love that was the, same as the first match on SmackDown, which is also excellent. That SmackDown match is great.
Yes.
The initial title change.
Yeah.
I was so fucking pissed, too. Man, I was mad. I was so mad when Randy beat him. I was like, what?
Everyone was, yeah.
Just this match is great. Definitely like Over the Limit more, but certainly one of my all-time favorite feuds.
Yeah.
Underrated part of this match is beforehand when they do the fake out with Edge, where like Christian's like, I have my best friend here to help me, and Edge is like, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro? I'm out of here. And for some reason, I just remember that because it's just Edge aura farm for 10 minutes and called called Christian a pussy and left. I don't know.
Yeah, and again, I do want to stress the match is great. I think I've always felt, because of the era it happened, the stip was like in some ways a bit of a hindrance at times, because you have to do like the kendo stuff's fine, but it gets to a point where I kind of like, it's whatever, But they do get to do that finish, which is...
Oh, it's beautiful. The way Randy sells it, too, with the head on the back of his head, like all... Oh,
that must have been brutal for Randy, right? Because he's angles, like, it's horrible.
Like, the very back of his head, like, hits the steps. Like, it's not just Christian that lands on it, too. It's...
Well, speaking of horrific bumps involving steps...
Oh, yeah.
In at one, on October 1st, 2023, 2 out of 3 Falls match, the main event of AEW WrestleDream... Darby Allin has done some crazy shit. The steps bump in this match is one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen in a major wrestling situation. So bad it was, in fact, that when you watch that spot, Christian's face, he actually like stops working, which is the least Christian thing ever. His face has like a hint of fear and hesitancy in terms of what he's about to do to Darby Allin. He fucking body slams him with an arm trap body slam onto the steps because I think the first time it doesn't work or something, right? And then Darby forces him to do it again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Before that, they
do it 3 times. There's 3 times.
Oh, jeez. You just
they
rewatched
fucking
it,
blow it the first time because I watched it last week.
Yeah.
They blow it the first time because it's supposed to be a Falcon Arrow type suplex from the apron to the stairs, which is psychotic. And
Jesus Christ.
Basically, what happens is instead, Darby just gets dumped on his head and his knees and legs hit the stairs.
That's right.
So
and then he does
it again where Christian just gets on the floor and just suplexes him on it. And just does and Christian just does the standing Falcon Arrow slam onto the stairs. So then Darby's like, no, fuck this. Do it. So they get back on the apron and Christian just does a deadlift. Darby just dead weights himself, and Christian does a dead weight fucking body slam and jumps off, and fucking Darby lands on his shoulder, and like it's one of the most
Christian's face on that setup is one of the most vivid memories. This match is incredible. I'm so glad Christian got a chance to have a match like this. A pay-per-view main event, gets tons of time. They had a show to follow where, like, I remember at the first bell, the heat wasn't crazy, and they got him, and they hooked him, and they got him bigger and bigger. And they have the big theatrical finish, obviously, with the ring being pulled up and Nick Wayne and all that good stuff. But this is just astounding. Astounding stuff. Bobby, what was the review at the time, mate?
Yeah, Dave loved it. Put it over quite a bit. Was scared about Darby as well, like I think everyone was. Called it tremendous storytelling, 4.5. Yeah, I mean, great stuff.
Very fitting. One seed, if you ask me. It won pretty handily, too. I wanted to note that the 2 and 3, the Orton matches, were like within 5 points of each other. But Christian and Darby was the winner by like 40 points. So it was clear. And I don't think that's recency bias in this case, Donnie. I mean, I prefer the over-the-limit match. But you're talking about, like, this is incredible stuff, isn't it?
I mean, this is like, I remember watching this pay-per-view because this is the same show as Danielson ZSJ 1, I believe, as well, if I'm not mistaken, I think. Yeah. And like, I just, I knew that Darby Allin was a fucking psychopath, but like watching that bump it actually felt like that took longer in real time than it did in actuality. Like it felt like Darby was in the air for that bump for like a million years, bro. I felt like I aged like 25 years waiting for him to land on this. Because the whole time I'm thinking, how is he going to land on this? And he landed, and he legitimately almost landed on his head and broke his neck. And I just went, like, imagine just going, I'm sure he didn't pit. I'm sure he just went, I'm just going to do this. And like Christian, obviously, like you said, I don't actually remember Christian's face on that at all. So you telling me that is like, imagine Christian having that. One of the most professional guys you'll ever see in your life, who never breaks ever in the moment, just looking and going, are you out of your fucking mind? You want me to do this? All right, cool, man. And, oh, by the way, they had a fucking awesome just standard wrestling match, by the way. Like, yeah, they do all this crazy shit that's super violent.
They do the thing, too, where, like, Christian's frustrated he can't out-wrestle Darby, right?
Yes,
he thinks Darby, he underestimates Darby as a wrestler, which I love.
It's the perfect, like, because Darby's done that story a few times. I'm actually a really good wrestler, guys. I just happen to do crazy shit because I think it's fun, which psychotic. But every fall is different, which, again, is a credit to how great Christian is, that all of the 3 falls are different in that, again, the first fall is more standard wrestling. Christian's getting out wrestled. Darby's surprising him. The second fall is where Christian, because I believe it goes Darby, Christian, I believe. I believe Christian wins 2 straight. And it's so perfect in that layout because the second fall is where that escalation happens, right? Because it's all out of frustration. Christian is so fucking pissed that in his mind, he let this little twerp beat him. And he's like, how the did I let? And so he is, even beyond the step spot, the intensity and the aggression with which he wrestles is a thing of beauty. Because again, those in between moments where there's not really a lot happening, but you can sense the disgust and anger, not even just with Darby, but with himself, that he let it happen. It's such a brilliant Christian performance. And again, you can pick a myriad of Darby performances where he's just out of his fucking mind. The fact that this somehow feels in a way lost in his own career, especially given some of the performances we've seen in this world title run recently, it's fucking nuts, dude. I mean, and I remember this being a big deal because it, again, like you said, it main evented pay-per-view, and the TNT title main eventing pay-per-view at the time was a really big deal because, Max was doing stuff with the world title that wasn't so favorable with people. And I just, obviously the Edge stuff comes afterwards, but what I think is a real testament to this match is even with the Edge debut, it never has felt like this match got lost. It feels like everyone talks about how great this match is. And
I forget the debut, actually. Yeah, I'm not even doing a Cope bad thing because Cope's what, like, I forget the debut.
This match is so good that, like, this match is the beginning of the patriarchy.
Yes.
Mick Wayne turns, and it's Cope's debut.
Yeah.
And people forget those two things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the match is so
Especially good. Cope had that vignette, too, that really elaborate vignette where he's driving the car through Seattle. And it's like a whole big thing. And, like, every time I see anything about this match, it's always people talking about how awesome it is and how, like, if anything, it's lost in the hierarchy of AEW match because AEW has so many fucking great matches, and Darby and Christian are especially in that category. This match feels like, again, this is kind of the end of Christian's big run at the time, because obviously he has the Cope stuff, but like that isn't seen as big of a deal as even the Darby
match. I think
is the Bryan match after. Oh, it is after. This. That's right, because this is the beginning.
I think this true example. I do think the Cope program, the TV,
it's so big.
The first couple matches of the Cope program, like, really fun. But I think by the end of it, it was like
the World's End match, especially, is really fucking good.
And the TV one they had before that too. Remember, that was good. Like, I get what you're saying. It's definitely, once the patriarchy kicks in, it definitely, like, the act changes and becomes a little more shtick.
Christian's character is more like, hey, your dad's dead. Like, I'm the dad. All that stuff. But like, this is like. In terms of, I don't know if he's had a performance this like tied to him, you know what I mean? Because a lot of his performance are tethered to the Cope stuff, because that's kind of been his story for the last 2 years. This feels like the last big Christian Cage performance. And I mean, if that's how people remember, I mean, what a fucking way to go out. He's unbelievable in this match.
Oracle, you recently rewatched the show and you texted me you thought this was the best match on the show comfortably. And you liked other matches on the show, but you were blown away by how it held up. Fair to say, right, mate?
Oh yeah, this match is like, because I had laugh out loud. So I watched this show when I was house sitting for my brother when he was on vacation, and I fell asleep during Bryan and Zack Sabre Jr.
I remember this,
and I woke up like during FTR Aussie Open, and then like. Was losing my mind watching this match, like completely losing my mind. Incredible match. So I went and I was doing like a random number generator thing, and I ended up just landing on WrestleDream, 2023 last week. So I watched it, and so Bryan and ZSJ is very good. I think it meets expectations. I think that's pretty much all it does. It does, and I make that sound more negative than I do, but like Dave gave it 5.5.
I think their rematch is way better, personally.
I've not seen the rematch. I heard it is way better. But Christian and Darby, holy shit.
Yeah.
This thing holds up. The match is terrific, even before the sort of otherworldliness begins with the steps bumps, which is just, I remembered this, like Darby taking the crazy bump on the stairs. I didn't remember that it was like
that gnarly.
They did it 3 times because they wanted to do it, the way that Darby wanted to do it, because he's a lunatic. And you have to remember, Christian tears the ring apart. Because they do the whole deal where in the spot in the stairs bump made me lose my mind. The spot that made me like get up and fucking yell at my brother's place by myself as the cats looked at me like I was a fucking asshole was the frog splash onto the stretcher.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah,
Bro,
That was like, oh my God. And then, of course, they do all this stuff in the ring, and they're tearing the ring up, and Darby makes this insane comeback, and the crowd's totally with him. And we've talked before about how Darby is great at gaining sympathy, but he's not like, he's more so of like a, what's the next crazy thing? What makes this match so special, and especially in Darby's case, is that it's one of the few matches where he does his crazy stuff. So it's in the past. So now it's him
actually
gaining
as a
sympathy
babyface
from the fans.
Yeah.
And getting these great near falls.
And it helps that Christian's such a heel too. Makes it easier for him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Just an absolutely incredible match. Man, like I'll never forget like watching that. Like the two things I remember most about the show were Tony Khan knocking over Inoki's picture. and this main event. So yeah, one of the all-time great AEW matches ever. Just an incredible piece of business.
This is gonna be like one of the longest Darby matches too, right? Because like,
25,
Darby's not. Yeah, he's
not
a
real. He's a real sprint guy.
Yeah, like for modern standards. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember watching this match with friends in a Discord call. When that step bump happened, we all thought he like died. We all just assumed that he like broke his neck. And that's the type of thing that like Darby kind of has that Jeff Hardy symptom of like, he's a highlight reel guy for a lot of people. But like Oracle mentioned, dude, the back half of this match where they don't really do that stuff and he gets to just be a pure babyface. It shows how good of a babyface he actually can be when he leaves that stuff aside. Yeah, this match only gets better with time too. This match only ever gets better.
It does indeed, folks. That is our Christian Cage greatest hits list. I'll quickly run down a couple honorable mentions. Just a point shy of making the top 15 was TLC 1. Vengeance 05. It's a couple points short.
If only that was a singles match.
And this one's funny because this is like I think it's one of the best matches that decade for WWE, but it's not a Christian match necessarily. Survivor Series 03, which is
that's a Shawn Michaels match.
Unbelievable, but you don't think of it as, even though Christian is really good in that match, you don't think of it as a Christian match. It's just multiple people listed on their ballot with the thing of like, I've kind of had to remind myself, which is weird because he's in it extensively, but it's just, you've had Shawn, don't you? Because Shawn's just incredible.
Did the Money in the Bank Orton match get any votes? Do you know?
It got some, but all of the Orton matches got votes. Just they were so split.
Yeah,
Money in the Bank.
That Money in the Bank match is fucking awesome.
I think our guy Tim Bosby voted for Money in the Bank.
That match is incredible.
Yeah, I think so. Tim, if you didn't, I apologize. Just a couple programming notes, folks, as we wind down again. As Bobby said, please like stream. In terms of this particular concept, if you liked this, it's going to return on June 19th, 619. Ray Jr. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's clever, actually.
Because let's be honest, we're all friends here. Alex isn't going to want to do Grin, Grappler, Rey Mysterio. Let's just do a greatest hits show and we'll have our fun that way. You know, that sounds like the perfect play. The Oracle of Wrestling is fired up.
Wow. It's okay. I'm going to make it. But here's the deal. It's Father's Day weekend. I will be on the road, but I should be at my folks by 9 p.m. I'm on that show, brother.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome, bro.
619. Rey Mysterio's greatest hits. In the meantime, we have another big programming note. The Grin, the flagship, the show you're watching right now, is going to be shifting to Sunday for the next couple weekends. Next weekend, we are going to be watching the Clash in Italy show. And then on June 7th, we are going to be live with Ibu and friends for a Super Junior special. Not a Grin Along, the best Super Juniors final. We're actually going to do a roundtable discussion, a bit of a deep dive into the junior heavyweight style and the evolution of that style. So that'll be June 7th. Ibu will be joining us. I'm going to try and bully him into joining us for Clash in Italy too, but he's going to be here on June 7th for a Super Juniors chat. It isn't about the best of Super Juniors, it's about the genre of junior heavyweight wrestling. So that should be very, very fun. The evolution of that style, so on and so forth. June 7th. Oh, what's happening in between, though? Are you going back to Friday for June 12th? Yeah, guess what we're doing on June 12th, fellas? We're watching One Night Stand 2006.
Hell yeah.
One of the best WWE shows ever.
What a time to be a Grin arm, all right?
I'm gonna have to, I've got to interject.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I will be doing a watch party at my brother's for Clash of Italy.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think I will have to insert myself for the June 12th edition.
Sounds good to me, boss. I've already booked Alex for that one, too. Already booked Alex, so exciting times in the land of grins. Donnie, any plugs, brother?
Yeah, Saturday night's main event is, I was going to say tomorrow. Technically, it's actually today.
Sure is.
It's today. I'm excited for my all-ego Ethan Page stocks to continue to rise through the roof, as he will certainly be the best worker on that show tomorrow. I'm very excited. I'll be on that. At some point next week, assuming that this Sunday Darby Allin does in fact not get to shave Maxwell Jacob Friedman's head and he loses the world title, myself and Joe will be recording a video ranking the Darby Allin title defenses. I will also be at Double or Nothing. So if you see a guy wearing a pink LNG shirt, that is me. You see him with a comically tall man next to him, that is my friend. Please do not bother him.
Big Bill?
No, I wish, though. Hope he does well in New York. Next Tuesday, the first episode of the Reality Era series, where I go through the best in-ring stretch in company history, 2013 to 2014, premieres. We are taking a look at the one and only CM Punk, Phil even, the guy who hated his life, hated his job, hated the people he worked with, but goddamn, was he fucking awesome in 2013. We'll talk about all that. Clash in Italy, like Joe said, on May 31st. And at some point, the much-anticipated reveal of my GWE ballot will be happening at some point, which has made Joe very mad. He did not actually make him mad, but I need another sell for the show. There's one ranking in particular that made him very mad.
Hey, Oracle. Cool. Do you like Steve Corino, bro?
I do.
Yeah. Do you think he's better than Randy Savage, bro?
No, I do not.
Oracle, any plugs?
Thank you all for bearing with me. I'm actually feeling okay.
Thanks for doing the show, brother. We needed you.
Just took some Tylenol as I'm about to settle down for bed here. So help myself. I might put some of that Vicks Vapo gimmick on there.
Hell yeah!
Tomorrow evening, I intend to be here with Joe and Donnie to pursue the great Grin Along, known as Saturday night's main event. 5 classic bouts. Let me tell you, 5 classic bouts scheduled for that one. And I think I tend to agree with Donnie. There's a pretty good chance All Eagle Ethan Page will be the best worker on that show. And Ethan Page is very good, by the way.
He is.
BFAB's booked.
Indictment on Ethan, but
yeah.
Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I will be watching the pre-show Double or Nothing because I'm interested to see how Mick and Renee play off of each other. And then at about 7:45, 7:50, maybe for the final match of the pre-show, I will jump on and we will do the Double or Nothing Grin Along. And this is my first purchase of Double or Nothing or an AEW pay-per-view through HBO Max since I resubscribed to the HBO Max recently. So this is my first HBO Max venture.
Oh, shit.
Into the AEW archive.
Yeah. And we do want to say this here. We're going to have fun tomorrow night. We know what we're getting ourselves into.
Of course.
So the show is going to be good? Probably not, but it's the kind of it's such a weird lineup that it kind of intrigues me. I kind of we'll hang out and watch it. I don't expect us to be ranting and raving because the idea of watching that show and going, God, this is shit. What happened? It's like, of course you know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna enjoy it. So
Penta and Ethan will be a sincerely good wrestling match.
Probably so. Probably.
I'm sure.
Becky and Soul, maybe. That's a juggling.
Hello, Robert O'Neill. Do you have any plugs?
Yes, Tuesday we're watching TNA Sacrifice 2007. Some observer notes. There's a My World and a Kurt Angle show about it. So got a lot of work to do this weekend, going through those.
What a fucking pro. Thank you, Bobby.
And then Thursday night, Grin Grappler, Alex Shelley.
Yes, sir. So, obviously, the weekend we've discussed, all of those, the Grin-alongs are free. Monday, Holbert House show, Full Sail Behind with 6 Star. Tuesday, Sacrifice. Wednesday, WCW Lives. Thursday, Grin Grappler, Alex Shelley. Friday, off for once. So, then we're back to the weekend. So, appreciate you all. Hope you've had a wonderful time with us tonight. If you're still around, when we're done here, leave a comment what's your number one match. Or you can do your ballot, but number one's a good way to start. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend. We hope to see you tomorrow, if not Sunday. Keep grinning. All hail. Enjoy this outro. Goodbye.